everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. But you're tuned into Talking Ball. It's me, Colin, and I am joined by the man who is all over YouTube these days. It's AJ. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me on. It's appreciated.
Oh, it's always good to have you on. I really enjoy what you have to say, your point of view, and it's always a good chat when you're on the show, man. So thank you, appreciate it big time. But yeah, lots of stuff to talk about, man. We had a match last weekend. I don't know if you were last week or Monday, or I'm not sure if you remember it very well. It didn't go the way that a lot of people would have liked. But luckily, with the way football works, we've got another match at the weekend. We've got a chance to make it right. So yeah. You looking forward to the Everton match?
Yeah, I always look forward to when we play. Kind of hard to forget the game with in my opinion, the massive overreaction that ensued. Um, but yeah, hey, one game done, 37 more to go. Everton next. Let's let's hope for bigger and better. Yeah, let's hope for positive performances.
Exactly. And everybody, like me and you were talking a little bit before the show. Everyone's got a right to feel any type of way that they would like to feel. Um, and I get it. I understand the frustration. I understand, but I just feel like you just can't let yourself get drugged too far down into the doom and the gloom. And that's in football. That's in life. That's everything. So, yeah, you just got to keep one eye on the positive. Keep your head forward. Don't look back. Look forward. Um, and I think there's going to be good things to come this season. I had asked a question on my last show, or on the show prior to the Leicester City match, where I said I might even still have it in my banners. One second. I asked, um, no, dang it, it's gone. But I asked if we did lose that match, would the Ange out start? Would the meltdown start? And everybody that I had on the show with me that day said no. That they didn't see that happening. Unfortunately, it does seem to have happened a little bit, or is starting to happen. And I hope that he's given more of a chance. I would hate to see us run another good manager out of the club, just because some bad form we saw. I really hate to talk about him, but the guys down the road have a certain manager who did not have a particularly good first two seasons, um, and look at him now. So it just kind of goes to show that if you give a manager some time, you never know what can happen. They could turn it around. Some good things could happen. So hoping against hope that we don't chase Ange out of here. We don't, flip out so bad that Levy thinks he's got to do something cheaper to sack the manager than to get all new players, type of thing. Um,
Well, we've proven, have we not proven that the model of get a manager in, give him a year and a half, sack him, get another manager in, give him a year and a half, sack him. We've proven that model doesn't work, right?
Absolutely.
Why are we gonna repeat it? Why are we gonna no, this manager's no good. Let's get someone else in, change all the personnel, change the system, moan the players haven't got up to date with the system, they're not good enough. The players have we as a fan base, I think even the people that back Levy will admit that when it comes to getting our transfers in, we don't always get the players that we want. We get similar players. If
Yeah,
you're a manager and you identify a particular player, that is the player I want for this role. He's absolutely perfect. To then go and get a similar type player is not good enough, right? And that has been the way we have conducted business, regardless of who our manager is. So, why is it going to change? If we get rid of Ange, we'll just get another manager in that wants players for his system that doesn't get those players. It won't work. We sack that manager, we go again and again and again, and we're doomed to fail consistently repeating what hasn't worked for us. So
yeah.
let's try something different. Let's actually back a manager, give him more than one season, and see where we go.
Could not agree more. Have you seen? It's like that film. Have you seen the film Groundhog Day? Bill
Yeah,
Murray.
man, absolutely. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love it. Love
me
it.
too. And I'm kind of feeling a little bit like that. So yeah, hopefully we wake up from this dream, and we finally give a manager the chance to succeed.
Cole, do you mind if I just address one thing very quickly? I've just seen a comment.
Yeah.
Scott M, in a stream I was in last night. Obviously, you're totally welcome to your opinion, but I saw somebody that was rude to you, being personal to you. So obviously, whether or not we agree on things, that's not acceptable, right? But you said in your comment just now, I'm still waiting to see what these overreactions are. You, my friend, with your statement, were one of the overreactors, saying that Bergvall and Gray lost the ball more times than they didn't. They were terrible. They got eaten alive. They actually lost proportionately. When you take their averages, they lost the ball less than James Maddison did for the time they were on. When you scale it up or down, whichever way you want to do it, they lost the ball less than James Maddison did. And Bergvall had more touches for the time he was on, proportionately to James Maddison. That that is overreacting because the result didn't go the way you think. Let's blame the new kids. Let's say the kids didn't do it. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. You were incorrect with that, but reactionary or otherwise, that's your opinion. You're absolutely welcome to it.
And as we were saying earlier too, AJ, you can be you can let your emotions dictate how you think and how you feel. It doesn't have to be negative. I mean, it could be your positive emotions could dictate how you
Absolutely.
feel in a way that makes it to where you're not really viewing things objectively or the reality of things. So it's not
100%.
just negativity. It's not just
No,
negativity.
absolutely. And as a matter of fact, sometimes being overly positive in the face of things that are not working can be even worse than being ultra negative. Because if you're ultra negative to some degree, you know there's a problem, you're going to be right at least once. You know there's a problem, you can try and fix it. If you're ultra positive and you fail to see the problem,
Stick your
it's
head in the
never going to
sand.
get never
Yeah.
going to get addressed with it. Ever going to get addressed. So, but no, Scott, I get being honest, what you think is honest, and having your opinion, absolutely. But statistics, I'm not a fan of statistics. I like watching the game and actually saying, yep, I've seen that, that's good, that's bad, that's indifferent. When you rely on statistics, if that's the way you roll, the statistics back up what I've just said. Graham Bergvall lost the ball less than James Maddison did, proportionately. So I mean, go and check the facts out, my friend. The stats, they are there. So I just wanted to clear that up because that was something you said that I disagreed with. And you then asked, how is it an overreaction?
Boom, boom. I love it. And like I said, I don't want to, as the title of the show suggests, I guess, I'd like to try to put Leicester in the rear view. Obviously, we're going to talk about it a bit. It's impossible to kind of, I think, get around it at this point. But yeah, we have so much more to look forward to, guys. And yeah, and speaking of having things to look forward to, I'm looking forward to hanging out with my friends, and we've got a bunch of them in the chat. So I am going to go ahead and say hey to them. We've got Adrian in the chat, who's always here, the ever-present Adrian, I call him. Big up to Adrian. I'm gonna try to stop saying big up to. That's a thing a lot of YouTubers have been doing. We say big up too much. So Adrian, thanks for being here. You're the man. We've got Ryan G, the closeted Spurs fan in the house. He pretends to support Wolves, but I don't believe it. We've got Shemtan the man. Good afternoon, Colin. Hope you're well today. According to our positive fan base, we're going to go all season without a win and get relegated. So glad they told me what to expect now. You might not even have to watch the rest of the matches now, Shemtan. You could just, your weekends are yours. No, but obviously, just kidding here. Quez Ali's in the house. On to Everton. On to Everton, indeed. We got Ryan G bigging you up and saying smash the likes. Absolutely, guys. If you could hit the like button, super easy to do. Helps me, helps you. You guys already know the deal. Just hit the like button if you don't mind. And then we've got Scott in the house. Big up, Scott. Love you, man. And I know you love me too, or else you wouldn't be here. Even though we disagree on so many things, we're friends on a personal level, and that is why you are here. And I appreciate you big time. Romanchu's in the house. What's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Donna Cullen. We got Donna Cullen here, everybody. Hello, Donna. Jason G. Dang, that's a name I haven't seen in a minute. Jason, hope you're well. It says, personally, I'm all for sticking with Ange, and I am too. You know, we've got to take a risk, and we've got to stick with a manager. And you're right. I mean, I don't know, AJ. I'll throw this at you. Do you think that sticking with Ange is a risk? I mean, obviously it is. There's risk involved in every decision you make in life, right? But I think the risk of sticking with him, in my opinion, is lower than the risk of rolling the dice and seeing who we get next. You know, we all know that Levy likes to fire managers, or will, whenever things kind of tend to turn a little sour. So I don't even know who would take the job. It's sort of a poison chalice, if you will, at this point. So yeah, do you think we're taking a big risk sticking with Ange, or do you think that it's the sensible move at this point? Where are you on the Ange spectrum?
There's risk and reward in absolutely everything. Absolutely everything in life. Nothing's a guarantee and nothing's doomed to fail. You've got to weigh up what's beneficial and what's detrimental to you. Having a manager that has come in and implemented his style, whether or not you agree with it, whether or not you think it's going to win you trophies, whether it's going to challenge for the title, having a manager come in and implement a new system, new ethos throughout the squad, get in a whole bunch of players that he wants that says fits the system, get youth on the pre-season tour, introduce them. Why would you then undo all of that and get a new manager in to go through the whole process again, have it fail again, and repeat? It makes absolutely no sense. Give Ange this season. If at the end of this season we're languishing ninth and we haven't won anything, then yeah, job's too big for him. Sorry, Ange, thank you very much for your efforts. Let's get somebody else in. But let's sack the manager. I'll tell you what, no. Let's sack the manager. Let's get rid of him. Let's not even give him till Christmas. Who else is about? Who else is going to take the job? Who else? Conte wasn't able to do it. He wasn't given the players he wanted for the system that he had. Mourinho wasn't given the players he wanted. Ange has not been given the players that he necessarily wants. Yes, he's going to come out and say, oh, they're my players. But let's be honest. If he could be shopping 70, 80, 90 million pound players and we should be getting them in and over the line, he would be doing it. Okay? That's never going to happen to Tottenham. It's not. 65 million for Solanke, 58 or 63 million, whatever it was for Ndombele. These are that's our limit, right? That's the limit we shop at. And even then it's broken down in installments. We saw with Eze, 50 million up front for Eze.
And we couldn't do it. We said, nah.
Levy was like, no, thank you, walked away from it. For a player that we made absolute, like, we were telling everyone we were interested. We made it clear to everybody that's the player we wanted. But we could have him for 60 million. We just had to pay 50 million up front, but it was too rich for Levy's blood. So the chairman will not financially back. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Portuguese,
or how much money
Italian,
we have.
Yeah, Portuguese, Italian, Australian, Argentinian. It doesn't matter who you are, what reputation you have. If you come to this club, you will manage within the confines of Daniel Levy under his tutelage. You will do what he says you can do. It's as simple as that. So who do we get in that breaks that? Who do we get in that bucks that trend? Nobody. Exactly. Who's going to come to Tottenham and change that? Mourinho couldn't do it. Conte couldn't do it. And apparently these people don't suffer fools, right? These people don't toe the line. Well, they've still gone. We're still in the same issue. So why don't we just give up football altogether, right? If it's such an issue, let's fire the manager, fire the board, take Dorothy the tea lady, get rid of her as well, sell all the players, disband the youth teams, rip the stadium down brick by brick, and just, I don't know, the club's done then we don't have the issue, right? You cannot keep rinse and repeat in the same failed system and expecting it to change. You just can't. Stick with Ange. If it doesn't happen, then everybody that's going, Ange is out of his depth, he doesn't know what he's doing, hasn't got a clue, the job's too big for him. Then at the end of the season, people can go, okay, I was right. but let's give him till the end of the season, right? He's had one season in which he came into a job, had a really rubbish pre-season, lost the best striker in world football. Everyone was saying we were going to get relegated. Everyone was saying we were going to finish bottom half of the table. We finished 5th. We've got European football. That's implementing a new keeper, a new left back, a new left centre half into your back five, which is fundamental for building and shutting out teams and having a strong foundation in which to propel your team forwards. 3 of that back 5 were brand new to the team, let alone the system that he was trying to get everyone playing. And he managed to do all of that and finish 5th in the first season. Let's let the manager have at least a second season before we start jumping all over him.
I fully agree. And guys, I just wanted to add one thing real quick before I forget. Not that I would forget, but guys, Jose, my cohort, my partner in crime, is on his way to 600 subs. If you could please help me and help him to get there, please hit that link there. Go and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell everybody you know that support Spurs. It's a great channel, criminally underrated. And speaking of which, I've got 2 people in the back that I would like to bring in. Not to interrupt you, AJ. That went really badly on my part. I'm still working on my transitions, I guess. But here we go. We've got Jose himself. What is up, buddy? And we've got Adrian. Adrian, hey guys, how is it going?
Good guys.
Got an all-star crew today.
AJ, we've got to stop meeting like this, AJ.
People will start talking.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, fellas, how are you? Start with Jose. How's it going, man? Work busy?
Yeah, very much. I've just finished, so that's why I'm late. I've just finished, but I did message you to tell you that I was going to try and pop on, but I was working.
You're the man. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. You're a good dude, and I hope work wasn't too much of a headache today, but you made it through. You made it through. So that's a good thing. And then we've got Adrian. Adrian, how's your day going, my man?
I'm fine. I posted a bit of banter on Ali Gold, you know what I mean, about the Leicester game. I went only 37 more league meltdowns to go, right? And I said, this is what makes being Spurs fans such a thrilling experience. I said, when I finished, I said, it could have been worse. We could have lost.
No kidding. It sure felt like we did. It felt a lot more like 2 points dropped than a point earned. But no, I feel you. So
my
guys,
post immediately got highlighted straight away. Like,
nice. Hey, nice. Ali Gold. He's a good dude. I love Ali Gold. I really do. I know people have their gripes with him, I think, but I think he's pretty good reporter. And obviously, he's given some information probably from the club, but what are you gonna do? I mean, why wouldn't you use that information if you're given it? So I was getting through some comments real quick, just saying hi to some people, some names I haven't seen all too much. Eamon Korea, nice to meet you. Sorry if I'm absolutely butchering your name. I know I am. Saying we are conceding too many goals. Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can score against us. And please tweak the system. Play Romero, Dragishin, and VDV. Please fix it ASAP. I know you can do it. And we'll get to that, actually. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about formations, possible tiny tweak that we could make to the formation, but we'll get to that. We got Scott in the house. Hey, Scott. We've already said hey to Scott. Being honest isn't overreaction. Come on. Yeah, there's a line, I feel like, and anyway, we'll get past that. Audio Artisan is in the house. Big up. Damn it, I said big up again. Hi, Audio Artisan, nice to see you. That's better. Jason brings up a good point. Can you blame the manager for Romero not picking up his man? Again, that's Leicester talk, but yeah, I agree too. We got Boris saying we can't put Leicester in the rear view for certain fans. Some people just love bringing up the past, unfortunately. And sometimes bringing up the past is important. You have to learn from the past. Adrian will tell you, right? If if you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to make the same mistakes again. So you have to look into the past a certain bit, but I also think that if you live in the past, that's where things get bad for you. So visiting the past, not so much a bad thing. Living in the past, don't suggest it. Look at this. Mod Chris Peters is in the house saying afternoon, gentlemen and ladies and everyone in between. Big up Chris Peters. Big up. Dragon D's Nuts is in the house, who I think might have the best username in all of YouTube. So big up Dragon. I don't understand how Ange is a bad manager because we don't convert their chances. Oh, the players don't convert their chances. Ange's system should have provided a 5-1 win. Hey, that's a good point. We were awfully wasteful. So many times we were so close to scoring. And look, Jess from JSY Talks Football Fan Channel. Afternoon all, says Jess. Afternoon to you. It has been a while, Jess. I hope everything is good in your neck of the woods. Good in your hood, as we say over here. Yeah, Jess, everyone, if you haven't subscribed to her channel, do it. I'll throw the link up in just a second when I can grab that. Or if one of my lovely moderators would like to do that, I would not mind one bit. Yeah, what else we got in here? Peter Kagayas is in the house. 1:16 a.m. in Melbourne. I forget if you're still off and your sleep schedule is just funky, or if you're working. But either way, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate having you. Rich is in the house, saying it's not really our choice. Ange will sack himself with this football. I don't know. We'll see. Then we've got Eamon saying Ange must find the right balance between attack and defense, and that's any manager, of course, absolutely. Shemtan says, before getting rid of Ange, let's get rid of our 1 pound shop coaches and bring in top coaches that actually can coach these players. Are you talking about like the assistant coaches? Anyway, big up to Shemtan, the man. And Scott saying, so we keep a crap manager and a crap system because it might be hard to bring in a new guy. It wouldn't be hard to bring in a new guy. It'd be Ryan Mason, and he'd be here the next day. But that is not exactly what I am looking for. Swap is in the house. Everybody talks about our defensive structure, set pieces and stuff, yet no one is talking about our attackers, who are a bunch of bleeps in the final third. And, I guess I could say that word, but I bleeped it. Why aren't our attackers ruthless? It's a good question. We definitely need to work on that. And Boris is saying, yeah, when we do spend big, they haven't worked out. Charleston and Dombele. Hopefully Solanke breaks his curse, since I have the utmost faith in him. But 2 out of our 3 signings that cost over 60 mil failed. It's a good point. They sure did. I have liked what I've seen of Solanke so far, and we'll get to him too. What would the overreaction be if we don't beat Everton, Newcastle, and Arsenal? Or what would the reaction be? Yeah, it'd be bad. Pitchforks would be out. People would be starting riots. Swap says it's alarming when we create 18 chances and score one. Seriously? Agreed, Swap. Agreed. Pete saying, Ange out, Poch in. Wow. And to add this, we play an attacking game and we managed to score 1 goal. Are you kidding me? Says Swap. Yeah, man. Yeah. Look at this. Everybody's getting the hey from Shemtan. He is the man. Like I said, Shemtan the man. Glad you're here, buddy. But yep, saying hey to everybody. And then we've got, look at this. Jess is saying smash the likes. And then we've been gifted. Pete's here and he's working. And while he's working, he has managed to gift 5 Talk and Ball memberships. What a good dude. Thank you so much for your support. The show is sponsored by you today, buddy. Thank you so much for that. We truly appreciate it around here.
Do you want to know the 5?
I would love to know the 5 so I know who to expect at the next member show.
Scott M.
Yes.
Jesse Talks Football Fan Channel.
Nice.
Steve D. Nita.
Hey.
And Michael Zachariah.
Ooh, nice. That could be fun. If I'm not mistaken, right? He's United.
Yeah.
Right.
Michael. Michelle, not Michael. Michelle Zachariah.
Yep. Love to see him in the fan show. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, Jess is saying smash the likes. And look, Chris Peters, he's got Jess's link. So everyone head on over to there and subscribe to that channel. She covers all football, really, like literally everything. Men's football, women's football, international, club football. everything, news. You can get it all over there. So everybody, show Jess some love. She's definitely done it for our channel in the past. And thank you, Chris Peters, for getting that up there. Yeah, and then finally, Rich's comment here says that our XG was actually similar to Leicester's. We had lots of low XG half chances, and that's a good point too. And finally, and last but absolutely not least, come on everybody, he's here now. There's no hiding. If you don't do it, he'll know. He'll know. Let us all help Jose get to 600 and get the Del Cockerel and subscribe. So guys, we're caught up with the chat. I'm rarely caught up with the chat. So thank you guys. Thanks, Jose, for helping me do that. And thanks to all members and subscribers and to everybody who's here. This thanks isn't just meant for members and subscribers. Support the channel however you want. Even you just being here and in the comments is great. So, but thank you especially to them. Your worst nightmare having a channel membership. But seriously, thanks. An awesome job by you supporting a great channel. Oh, Scott called me a great channel. Thank you, Scott. Ramped out of hospital emergency department. Interesting. Well, hopefully it's not too wild.
He's a paramedic, isn't he? So he's probably he's ramped up. So he's probably taken someone to an emergency department. They're ramped up. They're waiting.
Well, I hope everybody is okay. I know they're in good hands with you, though, Pete. And look at this love. I love the love. Scott, I love you, buddy. Just because we disagree, it's only opinion. Glad you got on. And that's how I feel. Scott and I talk all the time in the back room. It's been a while, admittedly, but me and Scott talk in the back rooms. We chat a lot. Scott's a good dude. I stand by that. I won't change my mind on that. Love you, Scott. Glad you're here. And again, welcome into everybody. And then now that Jose's here, I can put this talking ball coming to you from Bexhill in Evansville. Just love that little rhyme. But fellas, you ready to get into the meat and potatoes of things? Who's ready? Show me a thumbs up. Y'all ready?
Ready to go.
Well,
my thumbs up though. My thumbs up. Don't worry.
I believe you. I believe you. I think. Now I don't know. Maybe you're lying. No. So guys, we got a new striker in. It's already been mentioned. Record signing, I think. If not right there close. It's fractionally off if he's not our most expensive signing. Just one game to his name at Spurs, but still, what did you think? And I'll start with AJ because AJ was here with me first. AJ, what did you think of Big Dom at the weekend? Or I keep saying the weekend, on Monday.
On the whole, I think it was a positive display. He didn't get a goal, but he was always popping up in the right places, full of energy, closing down. His closing down was amazing. He was the trigger for our press, and the press worked better with him leading it than it would have done with Richie or Son. So I think I personally wouldn't have started him. I'd have started Kulu. I don't know whether he's had enough time. It looked to me like he was trying too hard. He was rushing everything. I think he just needed to be more settled and more composed. But he was backing in, pinning, like the two centre halves, waiting for the ball to come in, looking for the 1-2s, so that you got your Maddison running off of him. I was very impressed by what I saw. Yes, he didn't get the goal, and the striker's there to get goals, but his all-round performance was beneficial to the team. So I think the goals are going to come. I think it's just a matter of him settling in and relaxing. Let's hope that he gets at least a couple against Everton and we move forwards. I would rate him. I would probably give it a rating of about 7 out of 10.
And for your debut match, with a new team, like you said, no preseason to speak of. 7 out of 10, I think, is almost as much as you could ask for. So yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with your take, AJ. And I'll throw it over next to Adrian. What did you think about Dominic Solanke's first match with Spurs?
Yeah, I agree with AJ. He had a couple of chances, didn't he? Had the header, he had the shot. Can't remember if he had any more, but definitely put in the effort, didn't he? Yeah, he was good. That. It's just the sharpness, isn't it? You can have all the pre-season in the world. You can do double sessions, But even like he wasn't alone with most of the team, was he? When most of them during those pre-seasons were only getting a half, right? And there's players out there, and in our play, you could just see that sharpness just wasn't quite there. Even though we should have walked the game in the first half, the sharpness just quite wasn't there. You know, the extra zip. You know, it just wasn't there. So. But yeah, we didn't play bad. People are just disappointed because we should have won easy. That's all. But no, Solanke, yeah, good debut. It was a good debut.
Does the result maybe put a damper on what people's view of his performance? Maybe, do you think, Adrian, that if we had we won the match, even if it wasn't due to a goal he scored, do you think?
Because you should judge him on the performance, even if we'd lost 5-0. Did he play well? You know.
But you know as well as I do that that's not how it always works.
Oh no. But fan base is always reactionary. Everyone expected us to win, so there was a bit of a meltdown. Everybody said it was bad. It wasn't. It was just that period in the second half when we looked shaky. We needed something to stick their foot in, and we needed a bit of composure on the ball. And after the Benja injury, we got back to what we was before, but we just couldn't find the winner. Even though Richarlison had a late chance, but his body shape was wrong going for the header. And
Yeah, that was a shame. That actually did make me really sad. He seemed to be totally free there. I thought for sure that was going to work out for him, but it did not. I
mean, it wasn't a bad performance. I mean, I know people had a meltdown on it, but it wasn't a bad performance. It just wasn't a killer performance. We just weren't clinical. That is the only bad thing on the game. Still think like Ange needs to. We're going off Solanke a bit here, but I think Ange still needs to. I don't think he's fully decided. I don't think he really knows what his best midfield will turn out to be. Now we've got new additions. In the pre-seasons, he started mainly with Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison. We don't know if Basuma is going to be back or if they're going to suspend him for another game. But now that Bentancur's injured, you could see him coming back. Sarr wasn't at his best. He wasn't sharp either. So would Gray come in for him? I don't think he's going to start the two kids, give them their 90 minutes yet. And we need to see if they can play for 90 minutes as well. I'm sure they can, but how well they can play for 90 minutes, you know. But you won't, even then you'd have to judge them over 5 or 6 games, not one. But our fan base would judge them over one and throw them under the bus if they don't play well, you know. Well, some members or a group of our members will.
I think that's a lot of fan bases. I don't want to single out, just Spurs. I think a lot of fan bases are like that. And AJ and I were talking before. Hopefully he makes it back. AJ and I were talking though, and you can be reactionary in a positive way, a negative way. You know, if being overly and blindly positive is just as bad as being overly and blindly negative, we thought, because you have to see things for the reality. You have to see things for what they really are. There's a balance there between being too positive and too negative, and you could definitely be overboard in either direction. So I agree with everything you said about Solanke. I think you're right. I'm excited to hear what Senor Jose has to say. But look at this. I just wanted to throw this up. This is absolutely insane. I'm about to fall off my chair. Look at this. $50 super chat from Alan, a.k.a. Ragdos Madnos, a.k.a. Team Tottenham Go, saying, "Hi, Colin, Jose, Adrian, and off-screen AJ. Wonderful to see you all. Tough game to watch. However, I'm not making any major judgments after one game. I just don't want to see Ange get less patience from the fan base than Arsenal fans gave Arteta." And that is a very, very valid point.
I just wish fans would get out of the knocking habit of suddenly, and even more experienced Spurs fans who would expect a bit more sense of reason from them. It's like, oh, change the system. The system had nothing to do with the draw against Leicester. The system was fine, right? We had 9 corners in the first half. We had about 6 chances to score. Brennan Johnson had a Jekyll and Hyde 2 halves because he had 3 chances in the first half. He had the turn and volley, which was good technique. He had the shot just fall past the post, and he had one from the centre of the box. Then you had Romero's header, Solanke's header, a Solanke shot. I think 6 chances. I mean, it wasn't anything to do with the system. Normally, when fans criticise the system, is when we do lose a game more.
Yeah, I would agree.
Ange is not going to change the system. because he actually did what Jose always espouses about, and Jose's right. He actually did plan away. He played the 2 fastest wingers, right, that he had at his disposal, because his system based on 2 fast wingers who hug the touchline.
Right.
Decky gives you something different. Decky deserved to play. He was their best player pre-season, 4 assists and 3 goals. What more you got to do? But obviously, Decky will trust it. Decky will get plenty of game time this season.
Oh yeah. I think he might be our second choice striker. To be honest, I think we'll see him. Well, third choice, I guess, maybe if Richarlison. But with the others, with some of the players in the team, the players that some of the fan base doubt, January could be very telling. If they stay with us after January, or the rumours aren't about them going in the summer, you could say that about Richarlison. I don't think Brandon Johnson's going anywhere no matter what happens. I could see, it's early to talk about this, but Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. And guys, I just wanted to throw in before I forget to mention my mom's here in the chat. You're at work. Get to work. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for being here, Ma. Always good to have you in the house.
Big up, Mom.
Yes. Mom, what did you think? Since we're getting everybody's opinion, throw yours in the chat. What did you think of Dom Solanke's first match for Spurs? We're all saying that he might have looked like he was trying a little too hard at times, but that he 7 out of 10 from AJ. What would you give him a score out of 10, Adrian?
Yeah, 7's good.
7 out of 10?
Yeah, he's gonna score goals. How many I don't know, but in under handball, I would expect him to get 20 if he's the regular starter. Depends on rotation, doesn't it? So you don't know if him and Richarlison might come on and start smashing it, which is what you want. You want the competition, didn't you? So
definitely. Real quick, I just got to say again, thank you so much to Alan for this incredibly large super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Please don't feel like you have to do that, but thanks. I've never gotten anything like that, so I don't know how exactly to react. Just want to say thank you. Dirty Sanchez though says too early to judge regarding Solanke. Fair. And then Daniel Coy's in the house. Big up Daniel Coy's. Big up Nick Roundtable Talk. Who else have I missed? Anybody? I think we're good here. And Daniel says, sorry, second half was a bad performance. Simple as. And it definitely, the performance dropped from first half to second half for sure. For sure. And and by the way, Mom is at work and she says shh. So nobody contact well, I don't want to say her work's name, but yeah, no one tell work. Scott says 5 out of 10 for Solanke. All right. Just I have a feeling that would have jumped up quite a bit if one of those headed attempts had gone in, Scott. But yeah, and Mom still says she's reserving judgment, but is hopeful. Yeah, I'm very hopeful. I like what I saw. I feel like he got his head on just about every single cross that came through. Every cross that was delivered at that height. Obviously, it's almost like they're magnetically attracted to his head. He did a great job. And Roundtable Talk says he's gonna do well. He just hopes he stays healthy. Does he have a record of injury problems? Any of you guys? Do you know? I wasn't aware of that. So maybe Nick's just speaking of the fact that players at Spurs seem to get injured quite often, which is the truth. But yeah, I don't know. As far as I know, he's not particularly injury prone. Look at this from Daniel. Daniel says, how's Solanke going to get goals when our wingers create F all? And that actually kind of brings me to a point here. And let me get this pulled up. So, So does Sonny work on the wing with Solanke up top? And I can't spell partnership. Don't judge me for my typing mistakes. But and we'll put that second half of the question kind of on the back burner right now. But you were talking, Adrian, you mentioned, and I want to get AJ's take as well. You were mentioning though that Ange likes his wingers to hug the touchline, to deliver balls in. We have now a striker who really thrives off of and really needs service from anywhere, but the wings is where it seems like it's going to come from with our team and the way that we play. Is Sonny that winger? Is he that guy? Because as we all know, Sonny likes to come in and shoot. He's 2-footed, so he can do it off of either side. But he's not exactly a creator. He's not exactly, and for the national team, his role is slightly different. But AJ, do you think in this setup, or with, I guess, with Solanke as our main forward, our main striking option, do you think that Sonny is going to work with him? I don't want to say it that bleakly. I don't want to say it's not going to, but I just want to hear your opinion. Do you think that they're a good fit together, AJ?
I honestly don't know. He looked void of all confidence against Leicester. He didn't look to take his man on. He always cut back. Don't get me wrong. The link-up play on the left, the give and goes, and the little run off the ball, and that was all nice. That was cute. But your wingers should be trying to take the man on, right? They should be trying to beat their man and get a cross in. He may have done that. I don't recall seeing him. He wasn't noticeable, right? I didn't look and think, there's Son, and he should be, right? He's our talisman. He's our captain.
Yeah.
He should be leading. He should be, come on, lads, this is the way you do it. Get your heads down. Let's play. Play for the badge. There was none of that. I don't see him long-term being the man to take his players on. 70% of Son's game is his pace. 70% of what he's got a great first shot. He's got good feet, but 70% of his game is his pace. His pace, he is losing it rapidly. He's not got the legs to outright strip defenders anymore. He's still quick, he's still rapid, but once he gets 20 yards, then he starts losing it. He's running out of steam. I love the guy, but we're not Sentiment FC, we're Tottenham Hotspur FC. And if a younger player is going to come in and do the things that Son can't do, if he's going to contribute in ways Son should be but isn't, then Son needs to take a seat on the bench and earn his place back. Is Son the guy that's going to start putting in the crosses? I don't think that's his game. I really don't. Maybe the low cross across the box, our system seems to thrive on that. But I just don't see Son being the guy that's going to be standing the ball up for Solanke to get his head on.
I completely agree, and that kind of worries me. And Adrian, do you see it that way as well? I mean, I think that Odegaard might end up being a better option, but obviously we can't know that yet. But
the main reason he likes them playing wide is because teams play narrow to stop you playing through the middle, because it's the quickest way to the opponent's goal. There's always one wing. You'll notice anything where there's a long tranche of grass where no one's occupying it. So if you've got two wingers hugging a touchline, you've always got one of them is always free and available. Usually for us, it's usually Kulu, because he's usually the out ball on the right. But then it doesn't mean to say because they're on the touchline they hug it. Both of the wingers are then come in, but you got your inverted fullbacks come in as well. Then you got midfield. It can get quite crowded. It can also be quite good because you've got more options around the penalty area when we try and walk the ball in the net. As for crosses into the box, beating a man's all right. If this is another thing that gets me with Spurs. Fine, I've heard Decky criticised for this as well. And fair enough, cutting in, who's made more incursions into the penalty area than any player last season in the Premier League.
Yes.
But if you're going down, you're going to beat your man. That's fine taking your man on. If you've got vision and the IQ and you're looking around and your centre forward's actually in the box, the other winger, like when you play the wing-back system, is coming in on the far post, and you've got at least one attacking midfielder making a break for the box. If there's no one in the box and you're a winger and you've been given, like Sonny in the past has been given the ball in acres of space, and you're 5-7 yards ahead of any of your players, and you get down the wing, it's pretty pointless putting a cross into the box. Plus, fans have to get, if you Google it, I Googled this a few seasons ago, it actually turned out, it's always great when a cross comes in, like when Doggy put the ball across for Saar put the ball across for Maddison to score away at Villa, the first goal, you know what I mean? He slides in. But if you Google it, and people keep going about, don't cross, I think 1 in 64 crosses result in a goal.
Yeah.
Now you've got.
I'd heard a similar stat with corners too.
I hope our coaching team did the same thing. I mean, it's 1 in 33 from a direct corner, from the corner flag, lobbed into the penalty area, right? So this is why it always gets me. Why don't we try things different? We used to do, but I mean, like, so it's if you're going to criticise wing play, any player, not just Son, there are other things to take in consideration. If your forwards are not getting into the box, like if he's right upfield before then he's going to have to stop and cut back, right? If there's no one in the box, your winger's going to cut back and lay it across, and the fans are going, oh, why is he doing that? Well, like
horseshoe football. Yeah, exactly.
And every team plays that. Every team plays that. You'll see that in every game in the Premier League, right? During the game, either Man City, it'll go to the right wing will cut back, he'll lay it across the centre of the penalty area, it'll go out to the left wing, then it'll come back and it'll go across. It's proven statistically, though, the quicker you do that, if you do that within the first minute, because I think something like 70% of goals come from that area, which they call the hole in front of the penalty area, when the ball's played into the box early, like 70% of goals come from that. So that's why they all try it, because they know that stat.
I believe it, yeah.
But I don't like to be overly critical. I get it when people say, has he lost pace and all that. Be interested to know if there's stats on Sonny's pace, because he is not slow and he's still quick enough to be slipped inside to lose a defender. He's still quick enough to get us 15 goals a season, and he scores with both feet, and both people don't get it. So, like, I don't get the moan. Then they say, well, he's 31, 32. Well, how old was Ronaldo?
How old is Jamie Vardy?
How old was the number 9 who went from Arsenal to Chelsea? He's still playing, the French striker, the number 9. How old's he? And Vardy's 37, yeah? So, and is Vardy faster than Son?
No, but he's definitely not slow.
Now, I get if we're going to fresh it up, maybe next season we might bring another striker in, So I don't know. I don't know. And I get the criticism, as we're talking about wingers, even with Brennan Johnson, but he had 3 chances in the first half, right? The twist and shot, which was good technique. That is good technique, right? So Ange must see something in him, because he keeps playing him. And I'm not being critical of him. I said, well, to me, he still isn't oven ready. He's got potential and he's got a higher ceiling. And I mean, Werner's reached his ceiling. He's not going to get any better, right? Johnson's got potential to have a higher ceiling or find another club. But I mean, so with wingers, the play around them has an effect on wingers to me. If you're going to criticise a winger for not putting a cross in the box and there's no one in the box, no runner from midfield, the other winger's not coming in on a far post, right? I mean, a lot of times you see them cut back. I don't know what others think on it. I just think Son, to me, is still a first-class footballer. When people say get rid of him, I don't get it. I just don't get it, because he's still that good. He might have lost the afterburners, but to me, he's still that good,
I don't personally, I don't want to get rid of him. I just think that maybe he shouldn't start every match. Maybe he shouldn't, or maybe there's a better position to play him in. And that's why I phrase, and I know that Ange is never going to do this. Jose, I'm taking this comment off for just a second. I know I'm taking this off for just a second, but Jose, what do you think? So I was asking them, does Sonny work on the wing with Solanke up top? And because I feel like they both Sonny likes to occupy that space in the middle. Obviously not at the beginning, he'll start out left and then he'll drift in centrally with the ball. But do they work together, do you think? I mean, I feel like Solanke is a player that needs crosses, he needs service, he needs to be fed the ball. And for the national team, granted, Sonny does more of that. But for Spurs, you don't see much of it. And I just wonder how well they're going to function together.
I just want to add to that, because before we get to the fact of putting crosses into the box, and Sonny doesn't put too many crosses into the box.
Yeah.
You have to look at the overloads on the left. Your doggy wasn't at his best, right? And those two are working together. Now, you look at the other side, Porro seems to have a better understanding with Kulu when he's playing. Them two seem to gel well. There's more understanding, and they interchange at times, right? With you, Doggy, on the other side, there's nothing wrong with you, Doggy. I love him to death. I thought he was a bit poor towards the end of last season, but his sharpness. The players haven't got the sharpness that you get from matches. Like I said, you can play all these pre-seasons, get half a game, each time. You can do the double sessions and get your fitness up, but it's just there's just that there was your doggy. He was off it. He wasn't the only one.
Oh yeah.
Sar was off it as well. I love Sar, but he was off it as well, right? And we still should have spanked Leicester out of sight. You're going about the winger, sorry.
Oh no. You like Jacob said here. You're spitting heat, and I fully agree.
Big up, Jacob.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Always good to have Jacob in the house. United Spurs of America. Obviously, everybody here knows Jacob. We've got a celebrity in the house today. Yeah, Jose, I just want to know your take on this. And the second part of this question was kind of tongue in cheek. I don't think that they're ever going to play in a strike partnership. I don't think that Ange will ever do that, but I think that it might work. But yeah, what do you think about Sonny on the wing in this?
Sonny is not a white line player, i.e. hug the touchline. Sonny is an inverted forward.
He's a wide forward, isn't he? Rather than
wide forward, inverted forward, wide forward, whatever you want to call him, rather than exactly. Rather than
old-fashioned inside left.
Yeah, inside. Yeah, he's not an out-and-out winger that's going to hug that touchline. Odebert is your touchline winger, if you like.
Right.
Johnson is not a touchline winger. Johnson is being trained and coached to be one. Yeah, Johnson never played that position for Wales. He never played that position for Forest. He's being coached to be that type of player at the moment. And although he's not everyone's cup of tea, Werner is a touchline player too, right?
And
he hasn't got there. Werner is another one. Is he an out-and-out winger? Because when he played prior to going to Chelsea, and even at Chelsea as well. So when he played in Germany, for Leipzig, and before he went to Chelsea, and when he was at Chelsea, he was used as a forward or a second forward. He wasn't an out-and-out winger, right? Solomon, when he was at Fulham and even at Shakhtar, wasn't an out-and-out winger. So these people that have been brought in is because somebody sees something in them and they're trying to convert them to do that. But for me, no, Sonny is not an out-and-out winger. Sonny is the wide forward for me. Sorry, can I just say I've got some good news and bad news? I've been on the phone up until now.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
What do you want? Do you want the bad news first?
Yeah, hit us with the bad news, because then we can be brought back up with the good news.
The bad
always
news
bad news first.
Okay, the bad news is, Cole, you're going to have to do the watch along Saturday on your own. I can't host it with you.
Snap. Okay, can I bring some friends?
Yes. Do you want the good news now?
Yes.
The good news apparently is that I will be in and around the Antwerp Arms at midday on Saturday.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite place to be. I love.
You're going to the game then, Jose?
I'm going to the game. I've just been
I want to know if Chris Peters is going, because I normally meet up with him. I don't know if he's got a ticket. If you're in here, Chris, let me know if you're going and we'll meet up.
I've just been on the phone to confirm that a ticket has been. I've obtained
procured.
a ticket. Someone within our community has managed to get hold of the ticket for me. I was at Ulineun yesterday with Colin. I said to him, I was at work. You know Kev Clark? Yeah, right. He might have had a couple of tickets available. And when I was at work yesterday, he didn't have them because his son and daughter-in-law are now going to the game. So I said to Colin, I missed out because I've never been to the new stadium. So I said to Colin, I've missed out. So I'm going to break my virginity on Saturday.
There you go. I'm looking at it. I'm like, could I get a flight by Saturday? Probably not. So
I will see. I'm not going to hang around after the game much because I need to get back. But I will get up there early enough if people.
Maybe you could. Hey, if you could get some
I'll ring you, Jose. We can meet up either in the Gilpin.
Take some videos.
I'm meeting people in Antwerp. We can meet in the Gilpin.
Yeah. So I'm going to break my virginity. I'm going to go to the game Saturday. And that's why I've been away, sorry, on the phone, because I've been trying to secure this ticket.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you, man. That's wonderful. I was good. Oh, sorry, cut you off.
Sorry. I think I'll get the bug like I used to when I used to go to the lane. I'll get the bug and I'll start getting more than just one game a season. So it'll be all right.
Well, if
Maybe.
if we meet in the Gilpin, I can introduce you to Dorset Spurs. Chris Cowlin will probably be in there, and others will be in there that do shows as well.
I think it's more important for me to meet the people from the community that that support other YouTubers and people that support our shows by coming on who also go to games. I'd rather see people from the community rather than seeing.
Ellie goes in the Antwerp. I've never been in the Antwerp Arms, believe it or not.
I love that place. It's just such a homey, nice, comfortable place to be. And anytime I've ever made the trip over there, I've got my family with me, but we're kind of straight. We're kind of I don't want to say alone, but when you go there, they make you feel like family. It's a great place, even if they don't know you. So
and I've never been in a Bill Nickerson either. I've always stayed south. Yeah, because I'm Edmonton. I'm a mile and a half from the ground, but I'm more of the southern pubs, before you get to
coaching horses.
And you've got LTs and Gilpin. The Gilpin and LTs are next to just across the road from each other. And the Gilpin's just like a big Witherspoon pub. It's like very civilized in there.
Gotcha.
The LTs is rowdy. Obviously, like the Bricklayers is rowdy, noisy as hell. You know what I mean? And the ones near the ground usually are, But like, they're all good fun. Each to their own. It's what you want.
Oh
Coaching horses can get well loud as well. Like
Yeah, that was a place. How I said the Antwerp Arms was welcoming. Coaching horses, whenever you go in there, they're like, "Who the hell is this guy? I haven't ever seen him in here before." But once they realize you're cool,
I think your mum loves every pub. Look, she's talking about love the Antwerp Arms, and then down the bottom she's got love the Bricklayers too. She loves every pub. Your mum, look at that.
Anywhere they serve
she loves
alcohol.
A good pub. Exactly. She can grab a pint. She's a happy lady.
Yeah, it seems like the Americans are like, we know about the ground because we know the pubs that are near there.
People can take you the wrong way. They might think you're a bit, aggressive or whatever. And a girl come up to you in the coach, she said, "Are you hostile?" I went, "Hostile, dog style, any style you like, love."
Oh man.
So I'm really sorry, but that's where I've been. I've been on the phone securing.
No, that's wonderful. I'm really happy for you, man. That's great stuff. But
Cole,
Scott, absolutely.
Can I just very quickly take it back to our wingers very quickly, and I want to mention Odebert.
Yeah.
We have had certain sections of the fan base crap on him a little bit and say, "Oh," and I kind of get it in a way because
can I just pull this up? Okay.
Yeah, maybe he's not the signing that everyone expected. He's not the sort of player that we would have wanted in that position, but he's in the 99th percentile for progressive carries and successful take-ons. He's in the 98th percentile for touches in the opponent's area, and he's in the 93rd percentile for progressive passes received in the opponent's area. So he picks the right positions to be in, and he's always effective. And plus, he loves taking his man on, something which people have been screaming that our wingers don't do. Nobody we've got takes a man on and beats a man. This kid loves to do it for fun. So I think before we judge this lad, 19 I think he is, before we judge him, I think we should give him 3, 4, 5 games, see what he's about, and then judge him based off of what we've seen.
I think you give him more than that, AJ, because he's only a youngster coming into the side. You give him more than 3, 4, or 5 games. You got to give him time to breathe. And
I get that, but I'm just talking about the initial reaction. You'll have an initial reaction to something, and then after a certain period of time, you can better judge somebody. But to judge the kid before he kicks the ball is extreme.
Yeah. And
I disagree with Scott M. Yeah, Scott, we don't constantly buy crap. There's Vicario crap. There's VDV crap. There's your doggy crap. There's SAR crap. Yeah.
Well, Scott does think SAR. Scott does think SAR is crap. So that one.
I mean, like we have failed. What I always say, we have failed better in the transfer window. In the last few windows, we've definitely failed better.
I agree.
15 players have left this club.
15 players have left the club since when?
Since Ange came in, and that does include Dyer and
Harry Kane. Yeah,
you know.
But still, it's been a clear out and a rebuild, and we've all been crying about it. I mean, Pochettino told us we needed it. how many years ago was that? So it's good that it's finally happening. Scott's answering the second half of my question there, though, which was about the strike partnership, and he says at this point I think Son would work better in a front two with a traditional striker next to him, a la Solanke. But we can't afford to sell him because none of our attackers are close to his level. But if he's being played out of position, Scott, or in a position where he's not effective, it's almost as bad as him not being there. But I totally get what you're saying, and I do think he would work really well in a front strike partnership. I know that he wasn't playing up top with Kane in the Mourinho era when they were doing so well, but they were kind of a strike partnership, and look how well that worked. So I think that he could probably be used more effectively, and maybe Ange will realize that too and change things up. As our captain, you can't really take him out. As our captain, he's hard to sit on the bench, but sometimes that's needed. Real quick, just before we move on, do you guys think that he should be on the bench sometimes, even as captain?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think that Ange might have I don't want to say made the job harder for himself by making him the captain, but
For me, he shouldn't be the captain. I mean, I love the guy. What he's given the club, the loyalty and the performances he's given the club since he's been here are amazing. I love the guy, but he's not captain material. Not for the club. For his country, totally different. It's totally different. But for the club, he's just not. For me, other people can have their opinion. I'm not going to say I'm right or wrong, but for me, he's not captain material.
Captains aren't what they used to be. They're just PR merchants now. I mean, especially now that tackling's gone out of the game as well, because you also defined a captain by his aggressiveness and
hard nosed. Yeah,
exactly. But like you haven't got that no more. I just think they're more PR. I think Ange just tried to use psychology. He's picked Sonny because of his popularity and love and all that. He's picked other twos because of their nationality as vice captain. Maddison for the English players, Bentancur for the Spanish speakers. I just think he's done that. I've said it all along. You shouldn't need a captain on the field. If you've got enough aggressive players that are winners, they shouldn't need leading. Nicholson said it, you shouldn't need motivating to go on that football field, and you should be dragging yourself off at the end of 90 minutes, And the thing is, I think nowadays, all this money affects players. They sometimes get a contract and they become fat, lazy cats, you know what I mean? Or they lose that hunger because they're made for life with one contract. They're millionaires with one contract.
Yeah.
Adebayor was the king of it, wasn't he? He'd put in absolutely amazing performances to get a contract, and as soon as it was signed, before the ink was even dry, that was it. The performances dried up.
Yeah. It was so frustrating because I don't want to totally get on Adebayor, but sometimes he was magical. That dude could do some really cool things with the football when he wanted to. But
on the Odegaard thing, as we went off a track, which is usual, but on the Odegaard thing, the one thing he's got in his favour, I've watched him. I don't know if you guys. He reminds me of a bit of Aaron Lennon to me when I've watched him in videos, right?
I've watched highlights this morning, but that's it.
Right, and watched a bit of him. And the one thing he's got in favour, even though Spurs fans are on his case, this guy's no good and all this, whatever. If you take Solanke and Odegaard, what they both got in common is they've both got Premier League experience. And Odegaard, he's got all the 90 minutes under his belt for Burnley, admittedly in a poor side. I think
but with a heavily attacking coach. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
with company who's praised him up to the hilts, right? Now, I've only seen the video clips on him and bits like that, right? He looks a decent buyer, but whereas him and Solanke got 90 minutes under their belt and quite a few games because Solanke's had a good season. Well, Gray and Bergvall haven't got a 90-minute under their belts yet, and you need to see them get a few under their belt to see if their bodies can hack it over 3 or 4 games on the spin. I'm sure they will, but until they do, you can't sort of go too overboard. I like both those players. I'm convinced they'll both be stars, but that's just my opinion, right? But but Odegaard, he's done it. He's proved he can hack the Premier League. Now, whether he proves that he is the quality, that we want to take us on, we don't know that yet. I mean, so we wait.
I do get what you're saying, though. The Premier League experience part's huge. I mean, he's done it against. I know, obviously, there was a goal against Chelsea, I mean, he's no slouch. He's no slouch. I'm really excited to see what he can do as well. So
and his stats. I mean, Jose, I know this. I'm not really a great stats man. I'm more an eye test person before I look at stats if I'm not sure about something, or rely on Ashmatic or something like that, right? Or Jose even.
Good old Ashmatic, yes, absolutely.
His stats were virtually identical to Nico Williams, and look at everyone's been raving about him. Absolutely identical.
Yeah. People, yeah, and sometimes I feel like people use stats when it fits with what they want to say. I feel like agenda has a bad connotation to it, so I won't use that. But people like to use stats when it works with what they're saying, and then if it doesn't, then they're like, well, those stats are flawed, or
Are you saying people cherry pick their stats?
Yes,
Right,
sir.
put it this way, AJ. What I'm going to say to you, AJ, the stats that you just gave out on young Odebert, you're the first person I've heard say this. Now, someone like Sean Butler, obviously we know what's happened to Sean with everything being hacked and stuff like that. Someone like Sean would have said exactly the same as what you're saying today, because he looks into all the top percentiles and all that from the top 5 leagues and stuff like that, right? So he would probably come out with something like you said, but nobody else would dare touch them stats because it doesn't suit. It's as simple as that.
I try to, where it's concerned, if I don't know, I try to educate myself. If I'm going to have a foot in the argument, the conversation, I need to know as much as everybody else, if not more. I need to put in the work and the effort and understand what I'm talking about. Otherwise, what's the point, right? And I'm not going to be one of these that sits here and go, Odebert, I've been watching him since he was 4, wonder kid he is. I'm not going to do that. I didn't know anything of him.
We had the same babysitter growing up. We were, yeah.
I'd heard the name, obviously, because he played for Burnley. I didn't know of him. I didn't know what his capabilities were, but we signed him, came out of the blue. So I started looking into him, and I didn't just pick the highlight reels. I looked into games, and even when the ball was 13, 14, 15 yards away from him, I was still watching him, his movement, what he was doing, to try and understand what he's going to offer on and off the ball. And you've got to deep dive. You've got to look into stats. You can't just cherry pick and go, oh, he's only scored 3 goals. Oh, he only got 2 assists, but it was in a terrible Burnley side, and he still looked a decent player. He's got all the attributes for an out-and-out winger, something which, as Ash said earlier, wingers aren't coached anymore. That it's a dying art. You're not really coached to be an out-and-out wide man anymore. It's all coming inside and playing off the front man, and it's not that art of being an out-and-out winger and crossing the ball. It's a dying art. It's going out the game. But he ticks.
Didn't they get him off of PSG's academy? Well, that's not a bad pedigree to come from. Didn't he come from PSG?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You did. And I was going to say, AJ, with what you're saying, I'm not sure if you know Ash. Ash was a big part of Talking Ball before she got heavily involved in her work and didn't have as much time. She's back. I just wanted to first say hey to Ash, and she's agreeing with you completely. Said most young players aren't trained to be out and out wingers. That style of play is not trained into kids anymore. And I think that's kind of what you were saying too, AJ.
She was. I saw. It was her comment that I saw, and literally that's what I was going off. But she's absolutely right. It's not. My son plays football. Like he played it when he was a bit younger. He started again now. He's 16, but he was a wide man for a while. He was never trained to get the ball, get down the ball and cross it in. That wasn't trained. It was look for your striker, come inside, affect the play, make the runs off it like that. It's not being an out-and-out Aaron Lennon style winger is not really coached anymore. But name me a top team that do that. Name me a top team that play with out-and-out wingers. Doesn't happen.
It's not efficient, is it? When you looked at the old game, when you go back 10
Man City tried it at the weekend, didn't they, with Savinho and Doku? They tried it for the first half at the weekend, and then Savinho got hooked.
Did they in going back in the day of decades of playing, when you did play 2 wingers, the reason the game's changed is because you might find that the left winger was heavily involved in the game and the right wing was left out on the touchline and never see the ball. Well, that's not efficient in today's game. It's a bit like strikers just strolling around a number 9 in the old for the ball to come. that's not allowed nowadays. Everyone's got to be involved and, you know, and contribute. And if you're going to play two wide wingers, they've got to do more than just hug the touchline, haven't they? They've got to do more. They've got to cut in, you know. They've got to play as inside forward. So I get that if you're going to be, you know, you're going to be efficient across the whole area of the field. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Guys, I got a couple more points, or quite a few more actually, but we've been having so much fun. Sometimes you don't get to all of the points, but that is okay.
Before Colin goes on to the next point, people, you got to be caressing that like button. I'm looking at the numbers that are coming in and that we've had on the show, and then I'm looking at the likes, and I'm just like, if it's because you don't like what we say, then let us know, because at the end of the day we need to know. But you know, appreciate the hard work. It's Colin's channel. He's put hard work in. He's brought us all on as guests, you know, and he's got all the questions and that set up. So show him some respect, man, and hit that like button. Come on, guys.
You're too kind, buddy. You're too kind. And yeah, everybody being here too. Everybody that's in the chat, or if you're watching this later, thank you. I appreciate you. And it does, you know, we do put work into this. I wouldn't say that like I'm breaking my back doing it or anything, but it is, yeah, it is work. And I hope that you guys enjoy it. That's all I'm gonna say. I just hope that you guys enjoy it. Real quick, Mom's got to run. She says, "Big up! Oh, come on, you Spurs.
Take care, darling.
See you, Mama. Be good. Be safe. All right.
Yeah, Mom.
Yes, she's the best. She's everybody's mom. Exactly. She's all of our moms.
Tottenham mom.
She's the best. Okay, and then so we talked a bit about Destiny. Chris Agambar's in the house. What is up, Chris? Hope you're doing well.
I don't know whether you saw, but Nick is here as well. Roundtable Talk.
Oh yeah, Nick's here. We've been he's put in quite a few comments.
Oh, okay.
Positivity ain't permitted around these parts. I like it. And he says that's why those stats won't be mentioned much. Hey, some people have to see it with their eyes. I get it, you know. And
I did see a comment. I won't say who it's from, but I saw a comment when I was talking about stats, positive stats across the season, which reflect the type of player that he is. There was a comment that said the excuses never stop. I don't know how talking about stats collated, which everyone uses for and against to suit their narrative. I don't understand how reading out stats that have been collated across the course of a season that reflects where a player has his strengths. I don't understand how that's excuses. But yeah, so I'll try to be positive and I will be critical where needed, but I don't like to be overly negative.
Like we were saying before, there's a balance.
Can I just answer this for Ryan?
First, please do.
Ryan, looking at this, the comment you put in there, I understand the comment you put in there, but I'm going to talk about my perspective on this, right? And my perspective has always been Neto is a fantastic player when he plays football and he's on the pitch. And you've heard me say it before, Ryan, so this is my stance on it. And for me, Neto, the last 2 seasons, or 2 seasons at least, he's had some terrible luck, bad luck with injuries, right? And for me, I've always maintained, and I always kept saying, when people were saying we should be going after Neto and Chiesa and that, I always said that Neto and Chiesa have both been injured, and what you'd be doing is you'd be taking a punt on them both. I've always said, if Neto is injury-free, Neto is a 3-figure sum transfer. He's that good. I think he's really that good that he's a 3-figure sum transfer. But
exactly the same, Jose. I absolutely agree with you.
Someone's taking the chance on him, and that happens to be Chelsea. If Tottenham supporters are now saying, we dodged a bullet, or he weren't good enough for us anyway.
That's coping.
These people are just idiots if that's what they're saying. Neto is a really good player. My only reservation, and a lot of people, and I think it might be shared on this panel, is about his injury record. If he's injury free, you're not getting him for 50 million or 40 million or whatever Chelsea got him for. You'd be paying 3 figures if this guy was injury free and didn't have injuries. So injury free
Neto or Kvaratskhelia for you.
One plays on the right and one plays on the left. I'll take both.
There you go. That would be one hell of a front line for sure. Whoever you say in the middle.
I said when we were linked to Chiesa and Neto from day dot, no to both of them, thank you very much, because people hear a name like Chiesa, because he's Italian, and your name bias starts to oh, well, he's Chiesa, he's Italian, or he plays in...
He's the next Andre Pirlo. Yeah.
He's not. He's had one standout season, 2 decent seasons, and the rest are nothing. And he's had a terrible injury, which he might not ever regain his form from. Neto, exactly the same. Brilliant player when he's fit, when he's at full tilt. But you don't get that. He averages about 19, 20 games a season.
Yeah,
and most of them are coming back from injury.
19 last season. It depends on how many games you
exactly that.
To play.
If you're looking to build a team, a squad that is going to propel you forwards, what is the point in paying 65 million for a player that plays half the season? So you then have to rely on the players they are replacing. It is nonsensical.
So for me, and I'm going to finish it off because I was raising a point. I know what Ryan's saying. Ryan is saying it's not about us here. It's other channels that he's been in, and that's why I said, at the end of the day, we're talking out in general here. But what I will say is, look, he's gone to Chelsea, that's fine. Players go wherever they go to. But the last thing that I wish on any player is any bad injuries or any illnesses at all. And to any human being, for that matter. Your health is really important. And without your health, it can cause and complicate and give you so many problems in life, if you haven't got your health. So at the end of the day, I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he stays health-free at Chelsea. Just that for us, or for me personally, it was too much of a risk to purchase a player with the injury record that he's got. But he is a fantastic player. So watch him
play every match of the season now that we've all harped on about his injuries. That would be the way things would go.
And good for him. And good for him. That's exactly right. Good for him. If he can get past his injuries and that, and he's got his health, which is 100% is what you need, then good luck to him at Chelsea. And good luck to any player for that matter who's injured.
For sure. Big time. I wholeheartedly agree. Before we get to our next point, we've been throwing Jose's link in there, and I also wanted to make sure we get Adrian's. Everybody, if you haven't already, make your way on over to Spurs Diehards TTID, where you can catch me every Tuesday. And shows, gosh, you guys have shows darn near every day, a couple a week at least, right? 3 or 4 weeks.
We do Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays.
So and you're the resident.
And when Ash and... Go on.
Sorry, Colin's the resident Tuesday, and I'm the resident Sunday.
There we go. See?
Yeah, we got a close affiliation with Talking Ball and El Cockerel. So exactly. we'll keep having them on Tuesdays and Sundays. Yeah.
All the best channels stick together, I say. So yep, absolutely. I know the whole point of this show was me putting Leicester in the rear view, but I keep asking questions about it. Oops. But do you guys think that Doggy should have maybe not started? I don't know.
Can I start that one off?
Go on.
Please.
My wife's coming, so I just want to say this quickly. So, for me, yes, a Doggy should have started because a Doggy has had no pre-season. And I did say this on a previous... I don't know, I said this on another show earlier on this week. For me, okay, the result went 1-1, but the important minutes for me were the ones that the 3 returning defenders got. 2 of them that have come back from the Copa and the Euros. All right, Van der Ven didn't have much game time at the Euros, but he's had 3 weeks off of football. And Romero had a lot more to do in the Copa, played a lot more minutes, but then has also had 3 weeks off. So they both would have come back in fine fettle, but not pre-season fit. So it was important for them to get minutes in the legs. And a doggy's just been injured. So... a dog, if he declared himself fit, there's nothing better. Anyone who's played football will tell you, you get more out of playing a full-blooded game than what you do from playing a friendly. All right,
or any amount of training sessions, or fully.
And it also depends on the opponents that you got. So, a doggy would have got more out of being roasted by Bonanotte all night against Leicester than what he would have done if he had played, I don't know, in a closed doors friendly just to pick up his fitness. So his 90 minutes, the 100 minutes or so that he would have got will stand him in good stead for the next game and beyond. And also the 2 centre-backs as well. Sorry, that's my say. That's my take on it.
I agree. It's sharpness. Sharpness. You only get sharpness from playing games. You only get that back. And I think there was, even though we should have bashed Leicester, we looked a bit. We weren't on it. Udogie wasn't on it. Sarr wasn't on it. You know, the defenders weren't bad, but you could maybe even say people blame Romero for the goal. Maybe his concentration wasn't spot on, but you know, Sarr on the far post as well.
Right. There were mistakes made, but I get what you guys are saying. You know, they're going to be made, and until you get game time to kind of iron those out to get back into the form that we all know that he's capable of. It was kind of a necessary evil, maybe. And I use the word evil, but you know, he didn't have his best match, and no one can deny that. AJ, real quick, what's your take on that? I mean, was the only choice to start him? Do you think we should have gone with, I don't know, maybe a Ben Davis or even a why can't I think of his name, Spence, over on the line?
I really don't have anything more to add than you guys have already said. I think you've covered every base, and I absolutely agree with each one of you. I think he needed to play. He might have been physically fit. He might have been I can stand up, I can move, and he is the best defender we have in that position. So you've got to go with your strongest team, right? So if he says to Ange, I'm ready, and Ange thinks he's ready, give him the minutes. The last thing you want to be doing is come and play one of the bigger boys and he's not match ready. You don't want that happening. So, yeah, I mean, you've got to blood him at some point, and we did. He didn't have the best game, but then we didn't pay ultimately for that. We didn't lose. So, I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully, come Everton, he'll be up to speed.
100%. We need him. We desperately need him. He is by far and away our best left back, which kind of brings me to another question. I'm jumping all around, not doing my questions in order, but that is okay. If you guys could only pick one position to strengthen in for the rest of, we still, transfer window's not shut yet, which is weird to me. I still think it should shut at the same time the season starts, but regardless, if you could pick one position to strengthen in, what would it be? And everyone else has seen these questions except for you, Jose. So I want to start with you, put you on the spot.
How's it? Why is everyone else in? You done a run sheet today, did you?
I did, yeah, but I know you don't like run sheets.
No, I don't. God, you're Adrian. They're copying you now, mate. God.
That's all right. That's what we're here for.
I'm learning. Exactly.
And, I will say, behind
Jose, Cole actually said that he was deliberately not sending it to you because he wanted to try and catch you out.
Fair enough. That's good. I like to be caught out, AJ. Personally, in a private conversation that we had when Colin called me yesterday or the day before, he actually said how much he likes the run sheets that Adrian sends out, and that he has to do something just to keep the show intact. So there you go, Adrian. You've rubbed off on Colin, mate.
Right, okay.
Go on then. What if you could pick one more? Do you know what? This is difficult to answer, and the reason why I say this is
easy, Jose.
No, for me it's not. And do you know why?
It's a midfielder who can play at left back.
Yeah. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I'm going to say this. For me, it's so difficult because although we've trimmed the fat of the squad, right, and we've revolutionised the squad, and it looks different to what it did at the beginning of the last summer transfer window. It looks totally different, in fact. I still don't think it's enough. I think we need more. And for me, thinking that we need more, I would personally be going out and buying at least one for every position. In the sense of at least another forward, at least another midfielder, at least another defender. If you're going to pinpoint, the left-hand side of defence. In midfield, do you go for this 6 or do you buy another 8? And then up front, if Richarlison's staying, or even if he's not staying, because it was interesting, they took Sonny off the other day and put Richarlison on the left. And that's where Richarlison played for Everton. And he scored a lot of his goals for Everton playing out from the left. He's not a hug-the-touchline player, but he plays the wide forward role. So it's either bringing in another number 9 or someone that can play across the front 3. I think that I'd love to see 3 more players come in. the greatest need for me,
I know it's tough.
I'd probably say a midfielder, in the sense that you don't know what's going to happen with Bissouma now, because although he got suspended for that one game, and that's all the club have said, he's suspended for one game, they didn't elaborate and go any further than that, apart from when Postecoglou did say in his interview, he's let the club down, he's let his teammates down, he's let the manager down, he's let me down, me the manager, and he's going to have to come and get himself reintegrated. How long does it take for him to get reintegrated? Or does reintegration mean, because of what happened to Bentancur at the weekend, and being a concussive player, and won't be able to, I doubt if he'll be available for Saturday's squad, what does then that do? Does that mean you accelerate Bissouma back in? Or are you going to keep to your word and say to Bissouma, he needs to reintegrate back in, it's going to take a bit longer? Now, if that's the case, then I think we could do with another midfielder.
Well, if that's the case, then Gray plays.
So, and AJ, I'll get you on this one real quick, because I was going to talk about our midfielders. This is all perfectly lining up. This is great. But yeah, AJ, what do you think, man? What do you think about if you could strengthen in one more position, just one more, before the end of the transfer window? What position do you think is of the most importance?
I do agree with Jose in the sense that we are quite light. We've got Odebert for Son. And I think that's a decent player that we've signed there. You need somebody else on the right. I don't think Werner and Johnson need somebody that's going to push them and make them better. Left back, left centre back, they're two areas that we need to improve in. But for me, we need a number 6. We need somebody defensively minded, that when the rest of the team are looking to bomb forwards and your fullbacks are going, someone that's going to be absolutely, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to offer some protection. You have that extra player there to break up play, to intercept, to hold up the opposition. It buys you time to get back. It gives your defenders time to get set. It gives your goalkeeper chance not to get caught off guard. Just by having that extra body there, someone who's going to sit and just do the ugly work, you know?
Safety net type of player almost. And I hate to say this guy's name, but Eric Dyer's played that role for us pretty well for a couple of seasons. But
Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
But you know what I mean? Somebody that'll drop back, that'll sit between the center backs, because our center backs like to spread. Yeah. No, AJ, I agree completely.
Football's moved on in the last 5 or 6 years. Forget Dyer and the position that he played for us 6 years ago. Football's moved on.
But you know what I mean. I was just using it as an example, I guess, of where I think
we definitely need a defensive-minded midfielder, somebody that will get stuck in and do the job.
We've got the best man possible to do that job, though. We've got it. It just all depends. I mean, you get it now. I mean, people, they throw away like number 10s, number 8s, number 6 without explaining, because every Spurs fan's perception is different of a 10, an 8 and a 6. I mean, a 10 could be a Bobby Firmino, it can be a Maddison, it can be an Ericsson, right? It could be a Decky playing in that 9 position, right? I mean, 8's a bit different, box to box. It can be box to box or just you look at a 6. What is he? A deep line, just an old-fashioned deep line defensive midfielder, right? Is he the more modern type? You want one who progresses, play up the field as well, like what Bissouma's supposed to do, apart from beat the press and move the team up the field. What's your perception of a 6? If you just want a deep line one, you could play Dragusin alongside VDV and play Romero there. Romero can play them. Romero's brilliant on the ball. He's brilliant, and he got 5 goals last season going forward. And I've been poo-pooed quite a bit, but a few people have come around to my thought on this. I think if that was the case, but everything goes through Moreno at the back. VDV gives him the ball. Everyone gives him the ball, and he's like our quarterback. So would that happen?
Sort of like Toby used to be back in the day.
Yeah, unlikely, but I think he could do the job. And when people said, "Oh, we'll pick up yellow cards," look, there's something wrong if midfielders don't pick up yellow cards in your team, in my opinion, because it's the engine of the team. It's where the action is. You're going to pick yellow cards up in midfield. That's why you need, that's why most teams have got an abundance of midfielders anyway. You know? So
you can swap them out when they hit their threshold of yellow cards. Exactly. So is that what you're going with as well, Adrian? The position you'd strengthen midfield?
Well, we're linked recently. See this? We're in the last 8 days of the window, is it? It's the end of this month.
Crunch time. Levy time, right? Daniel Levy's time.
I'm hoping we've already done the talking and the deals already. Now we're getting more linked with João Gomez and not so much with Ramsey or Locatelli, but we're sort of linked with those, and there is no links with anywhere else. So I'm hoping Langer is or even Paratici, they've got something close to being done, because from the very beginning of this transfer window,
Paratici's been nowhere near any of these transfers, though.
I know,
he's been arm's length from absolutely everything.
Yeah.
He's not been involved in the meetings or nothing.
I think he's the one behind the links with the Italian players. He might be like, and we're linked with Anderson again, which makes me question whether Ange does really trust Spence. But from the very beginning of this transfer window, what did Ange want most of all? Conor Gallagher. He wanted that box-to-box 8 midfielder, right? From the very beginning. That won't have gone away. I think we'll get the midfielder in. I would take Vanderson tomorrow. What I've seen of him, the guy's a tank. He's like you doggy on the right.
Sorry, can I just as you're talking, Adrian, Ryan G, tell us a bit more about Gomez. Is he a 6? Is he an 8? Ryan G's point of view, because he supports Wolves. So carry on, Adrian, but Ryan will type in and tell us what he says.
Yeah, Pep raved about Gomez. He said, "What a player, João Gomez! Like he's only had his first season at Wolves, right? It's in his first season. He's 23, and he's done well though. He's done very well.
But that means he's Premiership proven, and people because you only have one season, it doesn't matter if you're buying Johnny Kick or Carlos Kickerball from another league, right? And
I love that phrase. I know that you didn't make it up, but yeah, I love it.
Carlos Kickerball from another league, right? And people will turn around and say, mate, he's not Premiership ready, right? Because he's not played in the Premiership. He's never done it in the Premiership.
But he would be a better option than if you're thinking of paying 50 million to Ramsey, and I don't care if we sold it to Chelsea there, to Fenerbahce or back to Real Betis, right? I would rather, on the little I've seen, I would take Gomez, because he can hold it together.
That's exactly why I would take Gomez over Locatelli, because he's done it in the Premier League. He understands that Locatelli, people might think he's a better player, but is that going to transition from there to here?
And if it does, how long will that transition take? You know what I mean? There's exactly. Even if he could make,
I wouldn't complain if we got either of them, though. I wouldn't complain if we got either of them. We ain't going to get both. To be honest, I haven't seen that much of Ramsey. I get the interest because Frederick left, who's had a strategy. Langer and Milo Jedinek were all at Villa, and they obviously have seen a lot of this player, and he's obviously a talented player, Ramsey. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of him. I haven't. I mean, I haven't even got to look at him, to be honest, because I didn't think he's really what Ange wants. I mean, but maybe he is. I don't know.
Yeah. So for me, so all I'm trying to say is that with someone like João Gomez, he's played in the Premiership, so he's Premiership proven. We've bought Odegaard, like AJ said earlier, right? Odegaard has played in the Premiership, right? Has played. So people are saying, well, he's got. It doesn't matter if he's played in the Premiership, but your argument normally is they're not Premiership proven. Well, we've bought a player who is Premiership proven, only had one season. But that is Premiership proven because you've played in the Premiership.
And he succeeded, and he was successful.
Or are you going to change the goalpost now and say Premiership proven means you need to have played 6 seasons in the Premiership? Do you see what I mean? Everyone, for their own narrative, is going to change what Premiership proven means.
I totally agree with you, Jose, and I think you're making a good point, because you're alluding to what I've tried to say on other podcasts as well. The fact is, all right, you can go and get a name from abroad like Locatelli. You can go and get other players abroad like Chiesa, but you don't know if they're in different leagues. There's nothing more strenuous than the Premier League. You don't know. They could even be internationals. They could still come here and flop. Seen Varane come here from Argentina. I've seen many foreigners come with different clubs, not only us.
I remember Sebastian, for me, the GOAT Varane.
Mutu come. Look at the ones Chelsea have got through the mints of strikers as well. Yeah. Shevchenko couldn't even hit it off, and they brought in Balak and others, and they were good in flashes. but they were bought more on. I think they were bought more on reputation and what they could prove they could do in the Premier League. But now it's a bit different. So obviously, Odegaard they'd have done the data analysis on him, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
They would have done the same on. And
if they did the data analysis, they would have come up with the stats that AJ told us earlier.
Yeah.
Simple. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean?
And even though I wasn't too keen on Johnson coming, we watched him for a couple of seasons. You know, he got 10 goals for Forest. There's something in that player. I mean, he's got to show more, though. He's got to show more. There's talent.
Something about his face looks like he's in pain all the time. Like he just constantly looks like he's just wincing in pain. But yeah,
you know, but midfielder, yeah. Look, if it was Locatelli,
Rob, you're spot on, mate. People read Rob's comments, spot on.
As a Spurs fan for 61 years, I'm glad there wasn't social media for most of those. I went to every game hoping for a victory, and in most we succeeded. Backing managers and players, 100%. How times have changed. Big time agree. I almost said the dreaded phrase.
Rob,
big time
Rob,
agree.
Review all the way, mate.
How old's Gomez? 23? Is he 23? He's
23.
He's 23, is he? Yeah.
Nice.
And Ryan says he's supposedly a 6, but he's here, there, and everywhere at times. Lacks discipline positioning, which is where he needs to improve. But he's a dog in midfield, brilliant ball winner.
I'll take him. Sold.
And then he's saying getting better and better, so I'm praying that we keep him this summer.
I think we'll offer 50 mil for him.
I'd say they're going to tell us to go stuff off for 50 mil. But
no, I think you tempt Wolves for 50 mil.
You think?
What they give for him, Ryan? About 15. He come from Flamengo, didn't he?
Wow, that was a nice transfer then. If that's where that was a bit of a gamble on their part. It's a pretty high fee for a player from Brazil. But cool, interesting stuff. But yeah, Ryan, let us know too what you guys think that you that you let him go for. I'd be interested to hear that as well. There's been some other people in the chat I haven't said hey to yet. Phil's in the house. Yes, Phil Coys, what's up, buddy? Then yeah, I think that's, and then Norman Lamont, you've been here. I pulled up a couple comments, but I haven't actually said hey. So Norman, good to have you, my man. Mark says just by someone who isn't at school. Yeah, hey, Gomez is 23. He could, he should be out of college. He could be out of university by now. So Phil's saying that Locatelli could be that leadership that we need in the middle of the park. I don't know enough about the guy. I wish I knew more so I could. I also don't ever want to lie to you guys and pretend like I know stuff that I don't. And I'll just say that. I say that a lot. But if I don't know anything about a player, I'll let you know that I just don't know. But Ryan says 60 to 70 is what he's looking for what they'd probably
not for 20. We've got the money though. We have got that amount of money. I did the maths. We've laid out about 134 million on players, right? And that's and we've got back in about 70 mil, including a skip sale, because you got sold Roden, Parrott, Emerson, and Højbjerg. I mean, Emerson Højbjerg went for 30 mil, 8.5 for what's the name, 12 for Roden, and then 20 mil for Skip. That's 70 mil. So we only spent about 64 mil. Now, if you take the fact that we're still going to sell Lo Celso, who's won a Copa America, right? And his buddy went from Brighton, Alex McAllister went to Brighton for 36 mil, but he's in his last year. So if you only got 10 or 15 for Lo Celso and 10 mil for Reguilon, and interest is increasing, as I knew it would be, because he's left-footed, right? Then if we sell them for that, we'd have only spent 40 mil, right?
Yeah.
And so we should, in theory, have about 80 mil to spend.
But I'm sure Levy would love that. I'm sure Levy would love if we got through a transfer window only spending 40 mil.
I still think we've got. I mean, if we're going on the average of 120 mil since, and I think it's a bit more than that since the stadium opened, 600 mil over 5 years, and I think it's more than that. I mean, I was quoted. I think Kieran Maguire said it was 680 mil, 685, which is 137 million a season. but I'm only quoting someone quoting Maguire, so I haven't double sourced it and checked it. But on average, everyone said we spent about 600 mil since the stadium opened. So in 5 years, so let's work it on the lesser figure, 120 mil a season. Then if we do sell Regulon and Modeun, right, then we still got at least 80 mil to spend because we'll only spend 40 mil. So yeah, Mark, you're right. It is Leagueonomics. But like, so with that 80 mil, if we wanted to go and get Eze, we could get him.
But that ship has sailed. I think as soon as his release clause closed or ended or whatever, I think that all chances of getting him.
As AJ said in the previous podcast, that ship's probably sailed. But if you've got 80 mil, then we should be able to go and get a midfielder and a left back, and we need a left back.
It all depends. Yeah. It all depends how much the selling club want up front, because as we saw with Eze, 60 million, you would think deal done, right? But if they wanted 50 up front and it was too rich for leaving, he was like, no, what's going to make this transition? What's going to make this
rumour is we paid 30 mil up front on Solanke. That's just a rumour, though. We don't know, right?
That's what I was literally just about to ask, is what we paid up front for him. So you read my mind. And he's cost 65 mil. So we can afford to go and go bang 30 mil. This is why I say we could even bring free. I mean, like we could get a midfielder in theory, because you're talking about down papers, and we.
So right, can I just say, Adrian? Right. So what's the difference at the moment, right? And I'm not going to turn around and tell anyone I'm an accountant. Right. What's the difference between Tottenham and Brighton at the moment? Because Brighton sold 100 and plus million pounds worth of players last season, right? Didn't spend much last season, but they're now using that money this season. Yeah. We sold Harry Kane. We sold Harry Kane for 100 million last season, and we certainly get more revenue than Brighton. I would have thought. Our stadium is far bigger. Oh right.
Yeah.
So if Brighton land 2 further targets that they're after, Brighton will hit 200 million spent this summer.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and they sold them players, didn't they, to Chelsea? Right.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What's the difference? What's the difference? At the end of the day, Brighton sold 100 million pounds or whatever worth of players last season, and they're spending that money this season, right? And more, because if they then end up getting they've got 2 more targets. If they get them both, they would have pushed 200 million. Tottenham sold Harry Kane right last season, but we haven't spent that money this year. So.
Right, okay. No, that's true. But the Kane money, anything that happened last year, would have gone into the financial report for last year, which have ended in April or May, right? But what I don't know, right? Now, I know what we can spend, roughly 120 million. That's just straight under the rules. But what we don't know is the league, we're going to have a transition period from FFP, Financial Fair Play or Profit Sustainability rules, to the new SCR, which is squad cost ratio. So I'm working on keeping it straight on like squad cost ratio. We can spend 120 million, right, minimum, but it might be more than that because of that transition period when the crossover comes. I don't know what's allowed in that. Brighton must know, because what they sold was in last year's accounts anyway. So now they're spending on this account. So there might be a way that even Spurs can dip into last.
Okay, but Adrian, what I'm trying to get to, right? But what I'm trying to get to is right. We're watching other teams do whatever. Now, I'm not saying that Tottenham need to go out and buy marquee signings all over the shop, because Brighton aren't buying marquee signings, but they're doing bits and pieces, right? So other teams seem to do bits and pieces, right? And when we're talking about PSI and PFI, which is a load of bullshit, like, right? And I don't want to talk about all that shit ever again, right? You got clubs that supposedly involved in all this that are still going out buying players and that. So how comes every other club has got people within their organisation, within their club, that's worked out what you can't do, and how to get around A, B, and C, how to go around this roundabout and get to the next junction? They've all worked it out. We don't seem to have worked it out, though, Adrian.
We don't know if we have or not, do we? And we don't know if Levy thinks, well, if I can get away with spending less, I can clear a bit more off the debt.
We know he's thinking that.
A bit more off the debt. I mean, but at the same time, Ozzy, all the rumours have been going around like Spurs.
3 more players coming in.
Ranking FFP or the new SCR rules. So Spurs have done the maths. There's lots of clubs that haven't spent. One of the things that got me going with this, and I believe we should spend the maximum. I said this to Sean Butler before. I said, "Well, yeah, Sean, I know about the debt and all that," but I said I believe we should spend the maximum that we can spend in the transfer window, which we haven't done in this window, right? We haven't done it. We've got money to spend. Right?
We've got 50 million still sitting in the hole somewhere from 2 years ago.
Hasn't been taken though.
That hasn't been touched.
And that has to be announced to the shareholders or something if that 50 million's taken, because it was to do with the reworking of the shares, wasn't it? And Enix, a few extra percent increased stake in the club and things like that.
Like I said, I'm not asking for us to go and burn money, right? And buy Johnny Grande and and players like that.
I'm in agreement with you. And the thing that got me, you had a lot.
For me, if I'm saying I think we need at least a player in every position, somewhere in the back defence, somewhere in the midfield, and somewhere in the attack, go out and spend the money. Go out and buy the players. Don't quibble and talk about backing or not backing managers and that. If you've got the dough, go and buy the players, because we could do with them. We need them.
Yeah, they're getting O'Reilly from Celtic. Yeah, I mean, like, I think we've got enough money to get 3 players in. I'd love a left back, a right back. I'd love Vanderson. I'd want a left back.
Is that going through?
And I'd like a midfielder.
I was going to ask this too. I haven't seen any confirmation on this one.
And the thing that gets me, I don't like the argument where this has been quite a common argument, and I pulled it the other day, where you've got people saying in the media, yeah, well, no one's really spending in the window anyway. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck's that got to do with us? Doesn't mean that we can't, does it? Doesn't mean that we can't.
Right,
so people like making excuses. Don't make excuses for us not spending money because the money's there. I believe the money's there. I believe there's at least 80 million, right? We could still go out and spend. And with that, you could put 30 million down, 30 million down, 20 million down, right? All right, the balance would go on to the 300 million less the 60 million we've took off. We owed 308 million. It was in transfer fees, agents fees, and all that. The balance would go on that, but that's amortized over.
Is that confirmed that O'Reilly's going to Brighton?
Yeah,
I haven't seen a confirmation. I just saw a bid for about 22 mil.
Yeah.
He's confirmed. He's going to Brighton.
I don't think it's been confirmed.
And the other guy, Kyogo.
Furiyoshi Kyogo, apparently he's going to City, isn't he?
Yeah, to City. The rumor is to City, but
holy shit, weird, interesting. Yeah, that was a player that people wouldn't be good enough for us. That's funny. That's funny.
To take place for Alvarez. But will he go? Yeah. Will he go and sit second fiddle behind Haaland? You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not second fiddle behind Haaland because Alvarez got lots of game time. Alvarez got lots of game time last year. He just wanted more.
I think he got about 19 goals during this
time.
He
wanted. Yeah, Alvarez wanted more, but he got game time last year because they did play with 5 in the midfield, whichever way you look at it, and they had that player, and Alvarez would step into the midfield and then step up as an auxiliary striker to help out Haaland. And if they bring Furiyoshi Kyogo, or whatever his name is, Kyogo Furiyoshi, then. Yeah, I've heard rumours about that, but I didn't know that these were done deals. But I did hear rumours about Kyogo today.
Interesting. That would be, like I said, that was a player that I've heard discussed for us, and fans had decided, wasn't up to Spurs standards. So if he's good enough to go to City, I don't know. That's an interesting one to me.
Yeah, but so what's going to happen then, Colin? You're quite right. You've hit the nail on the head. He's absolutely shit. He's not Premiership standard. Blah blah blah. Right, is what the fans would have said. When he goes to City, of course, City, you've got a right baller on their hands. They've got a right player on their hands, and that's what you get with this fan base. It's just madness. It's mental.
I think it's all fan. To be fair, I think it's all fan bases to a degree. I don't think it's just us. I don't think that we're, but we're the fan base that we see most often, that we're the most involved in. So I don't want to paint Spurs fans with a broad brush or anything. I think it's everybody, but I do 100% agree that, with what you're saying, Jose. I agree 100%.
So Phil Coyes is saying they've submitted a formal bid, Jose. I think I saw something about a formal bid, Phil, right? And the formal bid was going to be rejected by Celtic because they're looking for a certain number, and no one has offered them that certain number yet. So I think they were looking for like, I can't remember, it's 25 or 30 million pound they were looking for him. So if they've bid 22 for him, then they're not going to get him at 22. So yeah.
Interesting.
And Nick says, I don't know many other fan bases that are this obsessed with the monetary side of the club. It's not about the monetary side of the club, Nick. It's just about what, you know, I understand, and I'll caveat, I understand that we've got a stadium to pay for, right? But if I look at it, yeah, Arsenal suffered when they built their stadium because they didn't get the favourable terms that Tottenham have got. And let's be honest, Arsenal's barren years were after they built their stadium and moved into it. They had no pulling power. They had to sell all their best players season after season, and the players they brought in were nowhere near the quality that they used to have. But they had a big amount of money to pay on their stadium, and I think they more or less paid the stadium off now. It's been about 20 years, so that, yeah, they've more or less paid the stadium off now. Tottenham, however, is I've got favourable terms on the deals that they've got, way more favourable than Arsenal. And you know, at the end of the day, supposedly I've got all these money experts in the building that have got the best deals and know how to attract the best people.
And the transfer kitty is fenced off from the money that's going into the stadium or whatever. And
well, we're being taxed as fans in higher prices to go in to help fund and pay off the debt, because the stadium debt has been reduced to about 671 million, I think it was.
Where did it start at? Where did it start at?
308 million in outstanding transfer
Where did it start? Where did the stadium debt start at if we're down to 670?
It was over about 1.2.
1.2 billion.
I think so.
Okay, so we've halved that.
So over 5 years.
Over 5 years, we've halved that.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
that's kind of incredible.
1.2, if it's 1 or 1.1, I mean, I'm not sure exactly, but even if you said it was a bill, right, then that means that each year, if you were talking, if we were debt free, 670. 330 million, if it was only a bill, 330 million would have been paid off in 5 years. So 65 million a year would have been paid off, right? I think the interest is about 20 odd million a year. I mean, a naming rights deal would pay the interest each year.
For sure.
Probably, or half of it, or 2/3 of it, or whatever. But the name of the stadium is give the club a bigger global brand, so they've not been in no rush to get it, right? Because it's the way it's worked out, especially with the NFL. That's why I think we'll end up with American investment because of the NFL and things like that, you know.
I think there might be a permanent NFL team that plays their home.
That's manageable. It's simply, it's like having a mortgage. If you've got the mortgage, you can afford the mortgage, pay your bills, still got a bit of money to go out, you know.
Then go out. Exactly.
You're fine, right? No excuse for us. I mean, I believe we're talking about players, and Ange wants a midfielder. I get that, but you got Davis that can cover at left back, but at right back you got Spence, Porro, and you've got Gray can fill in there. I think an urgent priority is a good left back. I like the look of that Bradley Locko, but I think he's done his ligaments, Jose, isn't he? In the tournament.
Yeah, he did. He got injured.
So he's out. So and Dorgu, the other one I looked at, looked decent, but he's 19. I don't want a 19-year-old in at fullback. You know what I mean? But I think our priority should. I'd love Eze and a left back, or a midfielder and a left back. But I mean, we need another left back, guys. We've got cover on the right. We've got Davies who can fill in a left centre back and left back, but we need a left back. We got 3 can fill in on the right. We need a left back, and if any of you got good names, but then you're costing money. Robertson, he's left back at Fulham, isn't he? Is he left back at Fulham, Jose Robertson?
Yeah, Robinson.
And what about the left back at Luton, Doughty?
So the Tekken, who was in the chat yesterday on the show, was it yesterday? God, I'm losing my days. But Tekken, one of the people in the chat was raving about him. So yeah. Luton's left back, so that is definitely one to watch. He's a great player. He even posted some stats that looked really good too. Goals and assists. I mean, looked awesome. Real quick, AJ, it has been a while since we've heard from you, and I feel terrible. I left you just sitting up there, my man. Real quick, AJ, do you see? Well, first of all, AJ, are you still with us?
I'm still here, buddy.
Hell yeah! Just wanted to make sure. Like I said, we left you out in the dark there for a bit.
He's made tea and everything for his missus and his kids and all sorts. He's
Oh,
taken
yeah.
a
It's been my birthday. It's been my birthday since like I last spoke. No, but at the end of the day,
the dogs for free walks. He's done everything. He's had a shower. He's done everything.
It's done.
I'll say something. If I feel that I've got something to add. The conversation was flowing nicely. It's not stuff I really know about. I don't know the inner most workings of Tottenham, the finances. So I'm not going to try to get involved and contribute to something that I don't know about. That's not what I do. That's not how I'll listen. I'll learn, and maybe next time I can contribute to it. You know. But no, the guys were having a decent conversation. So I was just learning.
I'm not.
You're a good dude, AJ.
Expert. I try and Kieran Maguire, who's a Brighton fan. He lectures on football finance at Liverpool University. So other than that, Sean Butler's good. He has worked in different areas of finance. I don't know what Sean's doing at the moment. He's got difficulties he's trying to sort out. Let's hope he sorts them out. It's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
Talks a lot of sense. And so
and he has the best laugh on YouTube. Jesus Christ, his laugh.
You can hear him in the pub when you're walking down the street, right? I mean, but so I tend to I'm always got my ears waiting to hear what Kieran Maguire's got to say if it involves us, because he's the man for me because he lectures on football finance, and he's not a Spurs fan, he's a Brighton fan, but yeah. So Spurs will know what they've got. They'll know what they can spend, but will they spend it, Jose? That's the thing. And we've always had that issue. Mark was always bringing it up, Mark Cousins, and
And he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
We're leaving it a bit late now, aren't we? We're leaving it a bit late.
I've got a mop-up show next Thursday that I planned at the end of last season because everyone was saying, "Where's your stance? What's your stance?" And I said, "I'll do a mop-up show when the window closes, and I'll tell you what my stance is." And I'll tell you what, there's only a week left.
10 days got left.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the show. That has been sitting in there in StreamYard for months now. So yeah.
Yeah. So when is it? It's next Friday, isn't it? The window closes.
It's 10 days, but in 10 days, but the day before, mark this in your calendar on your run sheet. The day before they do the draw for the Europa League, which we're in on the Friday. I think it's on the 30th. I think they do the Europa League Cup draws being drawn. So
that's the same days. That's the same day as the last day of the transfer window.
The day before it's the 30th. 31 days. 30 days in September, April, June, and November.
But doesn't the window close on the 30th as well, on Friday the 30th?
No, 31st.
Okay, I thought it was the 30th. Why have I still thinking it's the 30th?
Because you think there's 30 days in a month and it's 31.
No, I don't think there's 30 days in a month. I know the many there are in August. I just thought it was the 30th for some reason.
Fight. I
was just guessing. Right, okay.
Chris Lonnie's got a comment here.
Yeah, so Celtic announced the other day about Kyogo's chronic shoulder injury.
Good morning to Chris Lonnie because I'm sure he's in Australia, so it's going to be very, very late for him, or early hours in the morning.
Depending on how you look at it, yeah, he's either up incredibly early or incredibly late. But Chris, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, he's saying it's closing on the 30th. I'm sure it's the 31st.
No, I thought it's because my show's been set up for the 30th, so I thought it was the 30th as well. So anyway,
somebody's wrong. We'll have to see. Whoever's wrong has to do some kind of a forfeit. No, I'm just kidding.
You got round.
Be quiet for 5 minutes.
Nick's saying, and
I couldn't do it.
And the tickets over here are still half of that of the professional sport tickets in the US. We get absolutely robbed. So
I pay hardly anything for my tickets to Nashville, but I know that they're not the best team ever. But yeah, my tickets cost me nothing really. So
I haven't been to America since 1989, right? And I went
get over here, come visit.
I went to the Giants Stadium to watch the New York Giants. So, but I can't remember how much I paid back then. How much was a ticket to go and watch NFL now?
NFL tickets are outrageous. Outrageous.
Is this what Nick's referring to then?
It must be, yeah.
I went to watch the New York Mets at Mets Stadium playing baseball as well back then. And I don't know how much I paid for a baseball ticket because it was so long ago. How much does a baseball ticket cost then?
They're all also expensive.
Okay,
hundreds of dollars.
I didn't watch any.
How long is an NFL game compared to a baseball game?
They both could last ages. Baseball could go on. It's like cricket. Baseball could go on for hours.
4.5 hours for a baseball match, comfortably, I think.
Yeah.
You're getting value for money, then, aren't you? It's a day out, like Spurs, really, because you can get in a stadium at 2 hours before kickoff, drink for an hour or so after the game, then you got the game for 2 hours. It's a day out, isn't it? Now,
That's a good point. But it's a lot of money for a day out.
The only thing I didn't do when I was in the States, I didn't go to watch any basketball. And the reason why I didn't go and watch any basketball is because you Americans play sports with your hands. And we were told, as Europeans in America, we were told, but you lot are pussies because you play your sport with feet.
It's netball, Jose. It's netball. Baseball's rounders, isn't it? You know what I mean?
We were pussies because we played with our feet and not with our hands. So
I was never good at basketball. Well, I'll take that back. I've been the same height since 5th grade. So in 5th grade, I was pretty great at basketball because I was huge. But then everyone else grew and I didn't. So soccer.
He paid £600 to take his boys to watch Messi play in the Arrowhead Stadium.
$.
So would that be
Kansas City, Missouri?
Three of them.
Is that free 600 for the three of you then, Nick? So that's 200 apiece.
Depends how many boys he's got. He might have
it could have been 300 for Nick and 150 for each kid.
Yeah. See, and that might have been. Was that a cup match? Was that just regular? So, and I also am lucky, and like I said, I got. Yeah. So he's saying yes. That's for everybody. That was for all of them. Yeah, I have a season ticket. Of money. And luckily, so with my all tickets were around 200. With my season ticket, I pay $25 a game to go and watch Nashville, and that no matter who they're playing.
Have you got Messi in your team though?
No, but Messi comes to play once a season.
Yeah, I know, but no, what I'm saying. So basically, it's the same as the Premiership. In the Premiership, there are different prices for season tickets in the Premiership, and there'll probably be different prices for going to different matches to different stadiums. So it's obvious that the Miami team are probably one of the dearer teams to go and watch. Their season tickets.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the one I try to sell my ticket for. Like if I can't make it, I'm absolutely putting my ticket on the exchange for that one because you can sell them for more than you pay for them too, which is nice at times.
So it's just been confirmed by two people now that the window closes at 11 p.m. on the 30th of August, which is the time for my show next Friday.
Hell yeah!
I will reveal where I stand next Friday.
There you go. Leo, Mile High Hotspurs in the house. Leo, we are nearing the end, very nearing the end.
Hi, Leo.
Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Leo, just out of curiosity, what's it cost to go to a Colorado Rapids match?
Are you a season ticket holder, Leo, or do you pay per game? And if so, can you tell us what the costs are? Not that we want to know how much you spend. It's just we're trying to compare free American football sides or soccer sites, as you call them.
Daniel, you are not wrong at all. Soccer, I'm going to call it soccer so I don't sound like a poser, but soccer doesn't get the respect it deserves over here. And for some reason, people call it commie kickball. People call it all kinds of derogatory. I don't know why people have to be so mean about soccer. I think anything, there's a subset of Americans that don't like anything European, and I think that's a part of it. The
Hispanics drool over about football out there, don't they? The Hispanics are mental for it.
Oh yeah, and that's what, and I mean, some of the best players that come through, some of the national team sides, like the younger, the under 21s or whatever, are Hispanic people that have come and settled here, and you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the South Americans that like baseball. Your Puerto Ricans, your Venezuelans, and people like that. They end up going to play professionally in America.
Yeah,
because they're born in America.
Japanese people.
Yeah,
super good at baseball too. Yeah.
I've been stitched up on this transfer window closing. I reckon they've done it because the 30th is a Friday and no one wants to work Saturdays, right? That's what it is. It's the weekend. Right? No, I stand correct. It is the 30th. So, Jose, you can combine your mop-up show with the draw for the Europa League because it's the same day.
That's a great
but,
idea.
Yeah, but that's
do 2 different shows. If you need a bit more meat to add to
no.
your show.
I work. I can only do. I'll do one show. The promise was I was going to do a mop-up show at the end of the window to tell
should be
people
doing
where I
both.
stood. So that's the only reason
all
why
the
I'm doing
players
it.
that have left the club under Angie's tenure round to the transfer window now and whatever. And I might not use all that information because I always got more. I mean, with my run sheets, I've always got stuff on it that rolls over anyway.
Oh, my run sheet wasn't half of what yours is, and I'm not getting.
Can I just say, Leo's
lower.
answered this, but you lot understand the lingo. Season tickets to the Rapids next season, so he's getting a season ticket next season.
Hell
It costs him 2 racks for 3 tickets. Is that $200?
Rack. So there's a stack and a rack.
Cost me 2 racks for 3 tickets. Is that $200 for 3 tickets?
Yeah, I think so. I think a rack is rack's 1,000. A rack is 1,000, supposedly. It says this.
So it costs you $2,000 for 3 tickets to go to watch a game. That can't be right. It can't be 2,000.
It must be 200. It must be 200.
Google a rack.
I am, but it's not.
Nick's saying 2K.
You can't Google Iraq as a country. I know where that is.
Yeah. Yes. 2,000 for 3 tickets.
2,000
for 3
season tickets.
Season tickets. Okay.
And how many games do you lot get?
That's cheap.
How many games do you lot get in a regular season?
It's embarrassing, but I don't know.
Because you got a season ticket, haven't you? So you should know that. Of course.
That's cheap. That's like $700 for a season ticket. My Spurs season ticket is £1,291. £72 a game, which is probably about $100. I don't know.
Yeah, but what do you get for your season ticket? You get 19 league games.
17 home matches, 17 away matches. Season tickets, you get like priority for away matches. At least with mine, you get priority for away matches.
Same as in I think the season tickets over here. So your season ticket covers you for 17 games. Adrian's covers him for 19 games. But do you still get preferential tickets, or do you still get all the home games in the cup, Adrian? Or have they done away with all that now?
No, you don't get. You get on the season ticket as soon as it comes around Europa League, League Cup, Refi Cup. They email you. And then, like you say, yes, I want the ticket, and you get your season ticket seat for that game if you want it.
That's how it is here too, with ours.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. I don't even know what mine works out, so I guess I could do the math. 17 times 25.
That's 925 quid, I think.
Yeah,
425.
Right. So I'm paying in American dollars.
How much did you say it was?
$94 a game. $94 a game I'm paying.
Okay. I pay $425 a year for my season ticket, and that's almost so low I just have to do it. Like you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. A
season started though, but how many games have you been? You haven't been hardly any, have you? And you got a season ticket.
Right. With my current job, I'm not able to go to many, but I just don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose the season ticket.
Yeah, no, totally understand.
You put them on exchange, then you sell your ticket for each game.
Yeah, and I usually just get my money back, but at least it's that. Sometimes you make money. Yeah.
Yes, paid.
Exactly.
Peter's
but
saying
guys,
it's expensive if some people work for tips, right?
Hell yeah.
And then Nick says my employees that work for tips make over 100K per year. Norman Lamont is saying, who is LeBron James?
Exactly.
Phil Coy says to me, it's a season ticket. I was like, yeah, I've worked it out, Phil. I've worked it out, mate.
He sounds like a lead singer in a rock band, LeBron James.
He's a basketball star.
Well, I've had a really good time, but I know that you got to get ready to go work. It's 6:15 my time. You start in 15 minutes.
I've got everything logged in and on my computer here. I'm not going to get out of this chair or anything, so that's good. But I just really quick, 2 things.
Want to make a coffee?
I'll go. Yeah, it's very true. I'm going to go around in a circle really fast. Do you guys think where was that? I had a banner up. Will we see one of Bergvall or Gray this weekend? And I'll start with Jose.
Yeah, you will see them.
Starting.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. In that case, you've changed the question for me.
I know. I just didn't type in. Yeah, I didn't clarify well enough at the beginning. But yeah, do you think
it's really difficult to tell because I don't know what the score is with Basuma. However, I did say that there could be a possibility that if Basuma hasn't been reintegrated, there could be a possibility knowing Postecoglou, because everyone says that he gives the youth a chance, and I don't know whether it's this early that he'll give them a chance. So there could be a possibility that Kulu plays in the midfield.
Mm.
And then that means that Graham Bergvall will be on the subs bench again. I think we'll see them, but whether one of them starts or not, I'm not sure. I don't know.
I was only thinking with the head injury to your boy, and then obviously Basuma's issue. I thought maybe there's a chance for one of those two to sneak in and get a starting berth this weekend.
Do you want to go first, AJ?
AJ.
Yeah, I can go first. That's fine. Thank you very much. That's very courteous of you. I would. Basuma, depends whether or not he's anywhere near the team. I would hope not. I would hope that it's not one game and done, because I don't think that's a punishment. Benson Fur isn't going to be playing, so it frees up a place, right? And I don't think that Kulu is best deployed in that position. I think him playing just off of the striker or as a false nine, or you put him on the wing. So I would have him over Johnson. But I would say Bergvall. If I was Ange and I was going to pick one of them, Bergvall or Gray, I would pick Bergvall just on the basis I think he's slotted in better. He looked more comfortable, more competent on the ball, and I think he's got more strings to his bow. I think he can offer more than Gray does at this particular moment in time. So that's what I would do.
Boom. I love it, and I tend to agree. I'm a huge Gray fan, but I think Bergvall has shown that he can compete and fight with the big boys a little better than Gray so far. But now, Adrian, we come to you, my guy.
I think Basuma will start. I do. Really? I just think he'll be brought back because of the injury. I know it's cynical.
Necessity.
Yeah, the mother of invention. Yeah, and I think by the time when we've got 10 days before the Europa League comes into play. I don't know when the first game is after that, because obviously you've got to know we're playing home or away, the 8 games. I think that's when we'll see Graham Bergvall get 90 minutes. I think it'll be in the Europa League, especially if we get one of these teams that no one's ever heard of on the planet, you know what I mean, in Uzbekistan or somewhere out there. Like, I think you'll find they'll get the 90 minutes, even if it's at home, preferably a home game, comfort zone, ease them in for 90 minutes.
I like
but
that idea.
I think Basuma's starting this game. Decky coming in as an 8, why not? I mean, I think he can do the job because he can defend and hold the ball up and all that. He can beat a press as well, So, I think Decky could do the job, but we don't know what's gone on in training this week. Ange should have already made his mind up even after that game, you know what I mean? So once Bentancur's out, he should know who he's going to play. So, we'll see. Press conference tomorrow, normally Thursdays, isn't it? So we'll see.
No, it's Friday.
Is it Friday this week? All right.
Yeah, okay. Friday the press conference is for the weekend. You'll have a couple. You might have a couple that might do it Thursday, but normally they're generally doing Friday. But I don't know exactly if Tottenham's is tomorrow.
Well, if it is, I'll do a short little show about it. I'll probably do my own kind of take on what I took from it if it is tomorrow or the next day. So be on the lookout for that. And then guys,
Phil says I like a good rap.
Me too, Phil. Me too.
Dragons. Can I just answer? Dragons League Nut says LeBron is probably the 7th or 8th best basketballer of all time. Now I know, Colin, you probably don't like basketball. My favourite basketball player of all time is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, he was trained. You know that he was trained in martial arts by.
That's why he's my favourite basketball player ever, because he was in the Bruce Lee films.
One of the two people trained by him. Him and why can't I think of the son's name that tragically died during the movie The Crow, the filming of The Crow. Anyway, Bruce Lee,
wasn't it?
Brandon Lee, yes.
Lee, that's it, yeah.
My favourite was the shortest fella in the Harlem Globetrotters.
There you go. I like. I'm pretty partial to this fellow Larry Bird, but it's because he's from my home state, and he's this goofy-looking white dude that was like the best basketball player I've ever seen.
Larry Bird, yeah, I remember Larry Bird playing as well.
super good player. I mean, and then guys, I gotta be a slag. I haven't done this in a while. I got this like store here where I make goofy Spurs merch. I take requests if you would like stuff, and I try to make everything like as inexpensive as possible. With this site, there's like a price you got to hit. It's got to be a certain price, but I make it as literally as low as you can. I just made one for Dominic Solanke. He's a big anime guy, so this if you watch anime stuff, you'll understand this one. But yeah, if anybody likes some special Spurs merch and wants something created, let me know. They come out to like $14 US, and then I also have it to where they ship. I have a place that ships them out of the UK as well, so you don't have to wait for the shipping all the way from the US to get to the UK. So if anyone's interested in cool Spurs shirts or has an idea for a cool Spurs shirt, let me know. I enjoy making them, and then you can have some special stuff. So that's just something. I'm gonna throw that link in one more time. Like I said, big old slag. Gotta hawk my merchandise, but that's okay. Boom. Yeah, exactly. I didn't know everybody knew about that. That made its way around the internet. But yeah, so there's that, and then everybody, I do unfortunately have to bounce. But before that, so there's my link for that. Here is Jose's link. Please make sure that you are subscribed to Jose. Come on, guys, let's get him to 600. So there is the link there. And then I want to get a clickable Spurs Diehards one because I have a banner, but you can't click that. So, and then everybody also head on over to Spurs Diehards CTID, where you can catch me on Tuesdays, Jose on Sundays, and Adrian all the time. So there is that link right there, everybody. So thanks to all.
And we also have a Facebook for those that can be bothered to use Facebook, and I've just put in about 30 videos in the featured section of old Spurs games. They're only like 5 or 6 minutes long. So they're all glory ones. They're all ones when we're fresh in Arsenal, fresh in Chelsea, fresh in West Ham, cup wins and all that. But they're not long. There are some longer features on Archibald scoring all his goals, Clive Allen scoring his, Berbatov scoring all his goals. They're all in the featured section on the site. Go and take them, nick them, copy them, do what you want with them. Right.
Look at that. What a good man.
And can I just add, right? For people that watch the shows on Talking Ball and on El Tel Cockerel, not Spurs Diehards for the time being because you haven't got memberships at the moment. But if you go to your settings and you switch membership, allow gifts or allow memberships, we have such a kind community that some people do gift out memberships and they don't end up going to people because people haven't got the gift allowance on. So it's not just for our shows. Anywhere that does memberships, if you switch that on and you watch shows, you're likely, if you haven't bought a membership yourself, you're likely to be gifted a membership from someone from one of the shows. So please switch your gift memberships on, and you might be lucky and get some memberships, not only from our shows but from other shows as well.
Irish Hotspur, yeah, exactly.
United Spurs of America, you can get them from everywhere. Do you know what I mean? JSY Talks Football, I get them from everywhere. And then also as well, like I've got a show tomorrow night, mop-up show on Friday at 4 p.m. predictions. Some of you in the chat didn't join the first week last week. So the prediction shows on 4 o'clock, the old style predictions that we used to do, manual ones. And then apart from that, on my community page, I've got the 2 online games there with the codes. And if you go on my community page, Nate Pye, who I didn't realise runs Spurs in Sydney or whatever. And he did a write-up about the first week of the fantasy. And I've posted it on my community page. So if anyone wants to see any facts about the first week of the fantasy and how we did in the Hotel Cockerel League, I've now posted it on the community page.
Wonderful. Did you lot get the email? I don't think I got the email for this week. Something like, mind you, I'm not sure what I'm doing, so I'm probably in the wrong here. Like.
For what? The email for what? For Predict the Football?
Yeah.
I don't know whether I received it yet. Or did I receive it? Last week I received... No, yeah, but it came out on Tuesday. It came out yesterday.
I might have
Yeah,
deleted
I
them.
think I got the email
might
too.
have gone,
So.
might have gone to a different folder. Might have gone to
But-
spam or something.
But guys, I got 5 whole minutes. So real quick, I want to thank AJ for being here. AJ, you need a channel, buddy. We all love hearing your point of view on everything. We love having you on. Until then, I'm glad to have you on every single show I do because like I said, I really love your point of view. I love how level-headed you are, how you just take things for, you don't have an agenda at all. You're just objective, and I really adore that about you, my friend. So thank you very much for being here.
Absolutely appreciated. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Adrian, me and you, Adrian, have got agendas.
You do. You guys are both
Agenda victims.
agenda filled, both of you guys. No, I'm just kidding. But y'all know I love you. AJ's new in town. I gotta let him know that the love is there. I also want to thank the sponsors. I'm stealing that from Jacob. The sponsors of today's show. Pete gifted 5 Talking Ball memberships. Ash became
dry roasted peanuts posted on the side.
what's he got? Hold on, I'll get it. Ash became a member, and Ash is back, everybody. That's wonderful. Ash, good to see you. I'll have to hit you up on WhatsApp. And then Rakdos Madness with the absolutely off the wall insane super chat. I can't thank you enough, dude. That is too kind. So yeah, everybody, thanks to everyone. It's been a great show. I've had a lot of fun. And then Travis Pena says, as long as Living Spurs supporter, why is there a rivalry from Arsenal, West Ham, and Chelsea towards us and not towards each other? It's a
Goes
great
back
question.
a long way, Drost to Drost. It's fashionable to hate Spurs, and it had. So I hate to say it. It had to do with the Jewish connection as well, but we won't go.
Yeah, maybe another day. Maybe another day.
Always fashionable to, even back in the day, it was fashionable. Spurs, we've beaten QPR. Every London club hates Tottenham, right? Fulham, they all do. It's just fashionable. I love it. Bring it on. You know what I mean?
Bring the hate. Exactly. All right, but everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and say my normal, be good to yourself. It's really important to be good to yourself, guys. Seriously. And then be good to other people. The goodness comes back to you.
Come on, you Spurs.
And what do you got? Jose and AJ? What's your last words?
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you mighty Spurs. And in the big Ange, I trust.
Boom. And since we didn't play the game today, I am playing this out with the Keeper West Ham intro. So we'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to tune in to Jose tomorrow. Bye.